this is Zombiepaper, and this is the semi-interactive podcast Cecily and Zombiepaper Talk, episode 3, where we're going to be talking about Dysfunctional Bunny Girl, which is Cecily's new album. And I'm joined by Cecily.
Hello, I'm Cecily Renns of the Cecily Renns Parasocial Club Discord server.
Hell yeah!
I'm sorry, your hello got cut out in my stream. I unmuted it too late.
Yeah, you gotta have a little bit of a balance there. Like we both simultaneously are recording on both of our sides, so if you wanted to hear the hello,
you can go to Zombiepaper stream. But we are streaming, but at the same time, there's Zombiepaper stream on the Zombiepaper channel, the semi-interactive podcast, and I'm also streaming right now. I'm streaming on my end. Hello, everyone on my stream. I'm streaming. We are gonna talk about the album. I'm probably gonna stream a little bit more after the podcast is. If people are still around, that is, of course. So that's why actually that is why I started the stream, because I wanted to stream after this, and I thought it would be good to get some momentum in by doing the podcast first. So hello everyone in board chats.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and that's one of those what I usually do to make it super clear is I'll cut the podcast, like I'll cut the recording and then I'll restart it immediately. That way you can have like one video and then the next.
That is probably okay for us, because we're gonna have your stream, and that can just be the one video of our podcast.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, if you wanted to do anything afterward, then definitely. Yeah. And hey, Jack, J AKS.
Jax on my channel.
Jax, there we go.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk with you about this album, because we met by way of the kind of dichotomy of me being a reviewer of music and you being a maker of music. So we became friends through that route of, hey, I like your music and you liked my reviews. I would say that I'm not super biased even now, even as friends. And Jax, there you go. Sorry about that, Jax. It's like
yeah, and I become friends with people a lot through that kind of method. Especially on Rate New Music. On Rate New Music, that's happened a lot.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's like, it's a way to meet new people, and then it's like, oh, my reputation kind of precedes me on this.
Yeah, you're pretty famous. You are like mildly well known, I would say.
Yeah, I keep to myself on there, but even then, it's like I've been around Write Your Music since 2008, and I have a bit of a reputation, starting from 2008, when it was a lot weirder of a place.
I'm guessing there was a lot less people, so.
Yeah, so it was like we were part of the old school gang, and like I was telling you, like I met maybe like there was a whole list of all the staff members, and it was like, oh, I'm friends with like 10% of those people. So yeah, like as a result, I'm giving a little bit of a preamble for those that may not know me or those that may not know Cecily on my side. But
hey,
I do an album.
Kaya is in the chat. Hello.
Yeah, Kaya is here. Hey, so what I do is I have a list of, like, I just write all my stuff on that list. So I don't engage with like the weird, like you have a bunch of reviewers in Russia that are really like
yes,
interested in your album, and it's like, well, that's really cool.
It has gained a reputation. I don't know how this has happened. This has happened, and I can't stop it anymore. If you look at all the recent ratings of this album, they're all from like Russia or like Eastern European countries like Croatia, or it's so wild.
Yeah, and that's one of those. you never know, like through Rate Your Music particularly. I have a good example where in 2008 I was listening to a lot of albums. I listened to an OSTR album, who is a Polish rapper, and I found myself with maybe like 20 new Polish friends.
Hell
Like,
yeah. My
cool.
my best friend is from Eastern Europe actually. She's from Ukraine, and she lives in Poland right now. That is so interesting to me. And she was also the first person to ever buy an album of mine. It's very interesting how it all comes circling back like this. Maybe I have some sort of Eastern European appeal.
Maybe. I think of it like uh, a lot of Russian music, if you talk about like Russian rock, has a very kind of it has a kind of weird bend to it compared to other rock, if you will, like wide sweeping cultural perspectives, and just a little bit more focused on like electronic sides of things. And yeah, it's a little different, and I think that's maybe part of why I couldn't really speculate more outside of that without thinking more. But yeah, you have an audience in Russia. That's great. Maybe. Mhm. You know what you might end up doing then? I'm not a big fan of like cash grabs, so don't mind it like this. I'm not intending to say this, but maybe you could find a Russian song that you might find interesting, and maybe do like a cover, but then you probably don't know Russian, so maybe translate it into Korean and then sing it in that way. Hell yeah. Oh, before we talk too much more, apparently on your side, Skelope and Jax can't hear you. They can hear me.
What? Oh, now I can. Now I was muted. Why did I?
Ooh,
Oh, because I must have typed M. I have M set to mute. I'm sorry, guys. I was talking about What was I talking about? I was talking about the
you.
Russian fans. I have a bunch of Russian reviews on Radio Music.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Victor Tsoi or Choi, or I don't
Yeah,
know how to
that.
pronounce the.
Yeah, I think it was that guy. He was in the Bangkok. I was talking about how there was this Korean guy who was a big deal in the Russian rock scene. Oh, well, not Russian. It was Soviet. It was the Soviet rock scene back then. Um.
Right, right.
What? Yeah. What are you gonna? Oh, yeah. You don't want. You just wanted me to say that my mic was muted. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. Now you can hear my.
No,
Now you can hear my beautiful fucking voice again. There are 4 people watching on my end. That's great. Also,
hell yeah.
hello, Scallop.
Yeah, that I was just saying that. Well, you were talking about a upcoming project. I don't want to force you into thinking too much about what to
Oh
release or
yeah,
what
I was
not to
talking
say.
about how I made 6 cover songs in 1 week. That's what I've been doing. I've been just making cover songs.
Hell
Because
yeah.
this is actually a little relevant to this album, but I was like I put this album on and I got into a bit of a, I guess a bit of a depressive spiral because like I was thinking like, man, like I spent so much time on this album and like I'm not even, I thought I was really getting the attention it deserved. Now that the Russians have invaded the album page, I kind of feel better about that because like, hey, they are like, my problem was like, I wanted it to reach beyond my like community that I have, and I guess now it
Mhm.
has. So I'm feeling pretty great. I think this is a great development. Um, but I was not feeling good. I was feeling really sad. So just started making these cover songs because I was like, I'm gonna fucking give up making music. I almost was thinking that because fuck this, I'm not gonna do it. But I was thinking about it. And I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna stop making music. I'm being insane when I say that. Why am I gonna stop making music? I'm just being depressed. It's just a brain chemical thing. So I was like, I have to force myself to back into the groove again. And cover songs seem like a good idea. So right now I'm doing that. You're gonna hear a song from it. You're gonna hear a cover probably on Saturday. That's when I'm probably gonna play that, or maybe Friday, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. You're gonna hear it soon. I'm gonna keep releasing them like every like 1 or 2 days until the album comes
Very
out. The
nice.
album is gonna come out in like, I'm gonna guess like the first Friday of December. It's the second.
Well, I wanted to say something about the album with Dysfunctional Bunny Girl about
Hell
you
yeah.
feeling like it was maybe a little bit like the audience didn't go so wide, so you felt a little bit bummed out about that. Um,
Yeah.
I want
I was not feeling good about it because like I wanted it to kind of blow up. I thought it was this album could be a big deal, and I guess it kind of is. I guess it's kind of catching on now. I was, I think, a bit too impatient because like it was like 2 weeks, like it was like 1 week after the what album came out, and I was like, why haven't like everyone heard? Why hasn't everyone heard it? I was like, I think I was kind of jumping the gun there.
Well, what I was going to say was first, the album is as of right now, as of the 10th of November 2022, it is 1711th place. So that definitely is like of all the albums released, you're in the top 2,000 for an album. So
Yeah. And
that
he has
is
80 ratings. That's crazy. That's the most ratings I've ever gotten on an album on radio music.
yeah, and that's something that I understand your perspective, and I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to kind of remind you because I think this touches on a bit of the themes of the album in general, is kind of the idea that you have something that you want to share, and you want to make sure everyone knows about it. And if you feel like, well, it's not getting like thousands of reviews or hundreds or millions of reviews, and it's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
you got a core audience that will always listen to your music that is approaching 1,000 people on YouTube, and you have quite a lot of fans out there. You have my community that I invited over to your side that likes your music as well, and then now you have a whole Russian community that enjoys your music, that
Yeah.
they're digging it.
It is
And that's
funny.
just something.
It is funny because actually a lot of these Russian users are not giving it are giving it pretty poor scores, which is fine by me. I mean, because if you even if you get low scores, the more ratings you have on an album, the more prominence it'll have on the charts. I think. So
Yep.
I think even low scores are like not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, and that's where it you have to look at what number specifically is the most valuable. Like you say, like it's the number of ratings. You can't expect 5 out of fives from everyone. I mean, I gave your album a 4 out of 5, and
That's very
it's not
fair.
out of yeah, it's not out of any offense. Like I give 5 out of 5s to like 0.5% of all the albums I've ever heard, and we're talking close to 10,000 albums. So I'm sorry, it's
It's
not.
okay.
It's not. You're not there yet, but you have potential. That's the thing, is that
The
you have the potential.
funny thing is, the only person I got a little upset at is Bridget, who is Billy Fox, who played all the instruments in this album. She gave it a 6 out of 10. And I was actually upset by that. I was like, why did you do that? I thought you would like it. And she was like, I don't like pop punk music. It's really good pop punk music, but I'm not into that. I was like, you did all the things in it, and she was like, yeah, that's why I don't like it. And I was actually upset about this. She changed it to an 8 recently. I wonder if I pressured her into doing that. That's very funny.
That, yeah, that kind of gets into the reviewer bias, where because we're friends, it's one of those things where if I didn't know you and I'd be like, I don't like this album so much, then
Yeah,
I might give it like a 3.
and that's like a fair thing, right? Like, it's like we all have biases. It's not. It
Mhm.
doesn't make the rating less genuine.
Well, what I always keep in mind is like if I like the album and I don't have any complaints, I give it a 4. Like if I really enjoy it and I'm going to return back to it again and again, then it's a 4 for me. A 3 is like I like it, but take it or leave it. A 5 would be like most recently I gave the No Means No album Wrong. I gave a 5 out of 5 to, where just
Ooh.
immediately I was like, whoa, this is it. And like I forget to stop listening to it when I listen to it. That's like a 5 to
The
me.
last one I remember was the Artbound album.
Yeah, there's that one too, or like the clipping. I gave a 5 out of 5 to clipping as their live
Oh
performance,
my god, that's so
live to
good.
no audience. Yeah,
That's
so something
it's
like that. Like you forget you're listening to it because it's just so good.
yeah. No, I mean
And
no.
it's like
I should check them out then.
it's something that I feel like you're approaching there, and I feel like the thing that I would say, because I'm 36 and you're in your 20s, so
Mm-hmm.
I just have that life experience that I would say the appreciate that you're not getting there yet, because if you got it with this album, if you knocked it out of the park and everyone's like, you usurped the top spot on Rate Your Music and everyone loved it, then you'd be like, okay, now that's it. Now I don't have to do anything else. Like I made the best album of the year.
Yeah,
Everyone loves
I
it.
might feel like that. I feel like I would be more pumped to make more, but right now I'm also pumped to make more. This cover album is gonna be good. I'm very excited about it. There's Weather Day in it. Well, I'm it's a cover of Weather Day. There's Ace and Glow and Paranoid. All the artists like I'm specifically covering artists whose fans would probably also like my music. That's the ones I'm targeting. I think it's a good marketing strategy.
I mean, that's how I found you. I found you through one of your covers, and
Oh, which one was that?
that was the one that we don't really talk too much about anymore.
We don't talk too much about.
Yeah, the one musician that we're not really big fans
Oh,
of anymore.
the Golden Witch, of course, of course.
Yeah,
Oh, that
but
makes sense. That is like the previous connection we have. I was actually very surprised. I was really surprised when I learned that you had that connection. It seems like
it,
I find PCP fans all around the fucking internet for some reason. I keep running into them.
I mean, it's just such a wide-reaching
Yeah,
base of fans that
yeah.
it's like I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and my friend mentioned Mother's Basement. I was like,
Oh
Jeff
my
through.
god, Jeff, you that guy. So what you said you have like the potential. That remind me. Like, I keep talking about things that Bridget told me. That this is because we talk every day about just random shit. We like
Mhm.
I mean we are like creatively linked together. Like if we make anything, we show each other. um what she told me after she gave my album a 6 out of 10 is that this album that I made, I thought it was my magnum opus, but she told me it's not your magnum opus, it's your debut album. Like this is where you build off of. This is like you
Hmm.
can do, like this album is a perfect template. You really you nail the pop punk and the unpop sound, fusing them together. But you can add so much more onto this. Like you can go somewhere from this, and because this album is like perfectly fucking composed power pop album, but you can't really like within the structure of power pop music. It can't really evolve, I think, because power pop, I mean, they all basically sound the same because the point is to be a very simple melodic genre. So she was telling me this album is where you build off of to create more innovative sounding albums, like, and you should keep making shit. I was like, okay, I keep doing that. Okay.
I think it is a very natural reaction, though, to feel like you're not like if your debut album just completely, like I say, like if it was the number one album, like if Pitchfork picked it up and said, "Hey, here is the number one album of the universe," and let's say Anthony Fantano of the Needle Drop said, "Oh, best album or whatever, like instant classic or
Cecily
whatever
Renns,
he's on about."
dysfunctional girl.
I mean, like then in my mind, because I feel like, and this is a theme that I wanted to mention for the album, is that you and I are friends outside of music, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you as well as friends of yours in your physical space or online spaces. Like I'd say that we're good friends, but we're not like we maybe talk a few times a week. We're not talking like you and Biddy, for example.
Yeah.
So that kind of perspective does limit my ability to say this, but I still feel like you and I share a lot of the same mentality. So if you instantly got all of the success that you ever wanted, for me anyways, I'd be like, "Oh, cool, I'm done.
You're done. Nice.
I've done what I need to do. On to the next thing." And you were telling me a little bit like before the album, you were like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about writing a novel."
I'm writing a
And
novel right now. I'm so
oh, you
behind.
still are too.
Yeah, I'm writing one, and I'm very behind. I'm like 4,000 words in. It's not good.
Ah, we could have a whole in-depth discussion about writing.
Of course.
And one of the podcasts you did with some of the folks in the Discord was related to writing. I missed that
Yeah,
one,
we talked about
but
writing. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it kind of sounded like you made the album and then you're going to take a break from making music like you had through most of 2022, and then you're going to do the writing, and then this is the first I've really heard about making a covers album.
Yeah, it's a thing I'm doing. The thing is, like, I can't stop making music. This is like a lifestyle. That's what I always say. It's a lifestyle. I can't stop
Mm-hmm.
because it's just a thing I do. Um, that's the problem. So like, even when I'm trying to focus on something else, I listen to music all the time. I'm just listening to music. I'm listening to new albums, old albums, listening to music all the time. So like naturally, I just get ideas for songs and albums. And I can't stop. This is something I can't stop. I've realized because I've tried to stop multiple times now. Just stop at the start of this year. I started to stop. After this album came out, it's not a thing I can do. So I think I just have to embrace. I have to embrace the fact that I'm just gonna keep making shit, and maybe I'll just not release some of the shit I'm working on. I am gonna release the covers. I want to make an album for January of next year. That might be the after that album I might take like a break for real, as in I'm just gonna not release like an album all the time maybe. um but I can't stop. This is a curse. This is a curse I have, and maybe it can be, maybe if I think of it as a blessing, it could help me. It has certainly helped me in some respects. I did make 12 albums that one year. You guys remember that? Any of you remember that fucking thing I did? That was fucking
Oh, I
crazy.
remember that.
Yeah.
And that, I think, honestly, had you not done that, this album might not have been as good.
Oh, of
Um,
course. There was like several albums in that month where like it was a precursor to Dysfunctional Bunny Girl. Like Celia Allison and Try to Erase Your Logs. Those two albums are critical to me making this album. Those laid the foundation for me writing this album.
I think it's also too just the action of thinking of an idea, making the idea, like recording it, or like for broadening this a little bit. So like writing a novel, or writing an album, or making a painting, or whatever it is you're doing, thinking of that, doing it, going to that because like the first 50% is super easy to do most of the time, and then you get that first roadblock where you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore, but I need to complete it. So do I half-ass it and just release it kind of like thawing out the door, or do I put in that time, which is like 10 times more effort to get from 50% to 100% than it took from 0 to 50%?
Mm-hmm.
And when you put in that time and you release it, then it's like, that is fucking great. I love this thing.
I spent a
That
lot of time, yeah.
yeah, and like for me, like my attachment when I make stuff, like even right now, this podcast, I'm making something right now.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm done, after I click stop streaming, stop recording, I'm going to be like, yeah, that was good. And then what's next? What's the next thing I need to do? And
Mm-hmm.
then go start working on that. Like that's my route to prevent me from feeling like, if you will, I'm going to just use the phrase feeling depressed about the whatever it is not achieving numbers quite the way that I might
Yeah.
want.
I was
Uh,
I was really hoping for like a lot of radio music ratings. Then I got a bunch of radio music ratings now from those Russians. Thank you, the Russians.
yeah.
Spasibo or something. I'm now I have a debt. It all started because of this one Russian guy who reviewed the album. I think they all came from his friends. This Russian thing is so funny. I love it. I love that this shit like this happens.
Well, that's why I say like you gotta give them a little bit of like a little bit of a nod to, and because the first one that I see, the October 24th one, was a 4 out of 5. So
Mm-hmm.
it might be just throwing the idea out there. You don't have to take it, but just kind of look to see what kind of Russian pop rock music
Oh, yeah.
that, and then like, yeah,
Maybe I
this
should
this
make
is
a
fun.
maybe I should make a Kino cover. That could be fun.
That could be really cool.
Um,
Yeah.
so I want to read one of the reviews here because it sounds insane. I don't know what the fuck this guy is talking about.
Yeah, go for it.
So this is the user Peacock Feather. I have a translation here. Okay. Um, I have a couple of comments about the album here. Cecily Renns confused me a little with her girl specific vocals. I don't know what that means. Uh, on my own behalf, I would advise this artist. On my own behalf? Why would anyone say this? Everything you say is on your own behalf. That's what speaking means. I would advise this artist to listen to, say, more Jane Remover or Connie from See You Space Cowboy 2021 album in particular. I haven't heard them yet. I have heard Jane Remover, which is good. As a good example, not to mention textbook examples like Health or Ross Williams from Christian Dead. I don't know those guys. Well, personally, I was a little upset that in the album dedicated to the rabbit, there's not even a hint of Lapina language from Watership Down. So I looked at the What to Sit Down is a novel, and and the rabbits speak a language in that novel, and it's called the Lapina language. And I don't know why this guy is mentioning it. Okay. As for the album itself, the car seat headrest and Weather Day business continues to live. Even the title of track 4 refers to a similar track from Sputnik from Come In. Good or bad is a matter of taste. Alas, not mine. But you are reviewing it. It is yours. That's the point of the review. But in general, not bad. It will go. The work has been quite done quite to its level. And that's the end. So first off, fuck you for the car seat headrest comparison. I hate car seat headrest. I know that people are gonna compare it to car seat headrest because the second song of the album is an 8-minute long song. I know that, but fuck you. Anyway, this guy gave this album a 5 out of 10. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. This guy is just rambling in this review. It's so funny. It's so funny. First, he starts talking about my girl specific vocals. Then he talks about Lapina language. I don't. This is so funny to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as this is a translation, a machine translation of
Yeah.
a Russian review. So as far as I have a friend of mine that is very great at Russian.
Ooh,
We
nice.
we were talking a little bit about, like, should I ask for some translation help to see, because it's something of a sort of like, there's a lot of nuance when you translate from one language to another that is
Totally.
omitted. Um, you know this a lot more than I do.
Yeah, because
I'm just a
I translate for fun. That's the thing I do.
Yeah. So we from what my friend told me about Russian, the language is a how do I phrase it. There is a lot of nuance and depth that ranges from extremely terse language to extremely dense language. So
Mm-hmm.
something like this, it might be a little bit like how the French language has very long paragraph long sentences that are very dense. So it could be something like that, where there could be a lot of depth that is not machine translated correctly. So
Mm-hmm.
we're just kind of basing it off of what we can figure out here.
I always think
Um,
Russian like English translate Russian sentences are very funny because like um because of how formal they sound. It's like I think that's funny. I'm guessing in the actual Russian, it sounds less like a guy trying to sound really smart.
yeah, and that could be it too, of the way that the language written. It could sound more formal. Um, and Scallop was like, "Is that soul?" Yeah, it is soul. But I could also ask another friend of mine, Mindscan, and ask like, "Hey, does this
Mm.
seem like this?" And he might be like, "Yeah, it seems like that," or whatever.
Hey,
And
wow, there are new people in the chat. That's Maters. Wow, it's Mater. It's my friend. Hello, good to see you, man.
yeah, good to see everyone.
There's Walnut who said Cat and good vibes. Good vibes. Thank you. By the way, 2 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. Just reminding you. Just reminding everyone. I need 2 more subscribers.
If you feel like it, no pressure.
No pressure, but come on. Let's go.
Yeah, that's so this is where, like I say, like, that you're getting reviews. This is something that you told me like about a year ago, about how for you, when you had this gnarly review some years ago of like just someone just trying to rip you apart, but it just turned out really funny.
Oh my god, I can tell the story. Yeah, I in 2018 I made an album called Rain. It's 88 minutes long. You heard this album. Apparently you
I
like.
did.
Somehow you liked it. I think it's unlistenable, but it
I
was.
like all your music.
Yeah, thank you. Conceptually speaking, it is my most dense and complex album. It is conceptually a juggernaut of an album, and that is why I keep referring to it because I would never live up to that album in terms of how much ideas and metaphors are in that. Um, anyway, I made this album. It was my first attempt to make like a serious concept album, and at the time, a lot of people in this community I was in, the Homestuck music making community that I was in, they weren't they didn't like the fact that I was singing in my songs, because you know
Mm.
I was bad at singing. And I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it because I was really annoying at the time, so I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it to make you even more mad. I was fucking 16. I was 16 years old. I was like, fuck you, my voice is great, my voice is beautiful, and I'm like, now, yeah, now I would agree that my voice is beautiful. Back then, I could not. I was even I was even worse, if you could believe that. So anyway, people did not like there were only like a few people who are like my close friends in that community who told me this is genuinely genius. Um, I still can't count all in my hand the amount of people who like that album. Um, so there was this one person. This is actually way too personal and it's kind of drama. So I won't get too into it. There's this one person who didn't like me and my music, and they showed the album to their friend who wasn't even in our Discord server. It was a complete outsider. And this person, this friend of theirs, wrote a like 16 pages long Google Doc, about how my album sucks. Um, I remember they compared it to like they compare like the conceptual albumness of it to like the Deer Hunter. The Deer Hunter is better than this. It was like, well, the Deer Hunter is like a prog rock band, obviously. Yeah, this is like a synth pop album. Okay, but it's like it was a review that totally like I don't like that album. But even reading that review now, they totally did not get what I was going at with that album. They really didn't understand like the music critiques, like the instruments turn sound poor, the vocals are shitty. I can understand that. Even
Hmm.
now, I will understand that. But they were making like conceptual criticisms of the album, saying that it was like they disagree with it, and they think I was wrong. It was an album about like fandom. It was an album about like how like fandoms are like kind of circular, and it's like it was a whole. This is such a difficult album to describe, but like the whole concept of it was that fandom and like the process of being inspired by art and creating more art is like very intrinsically linked. I was making like a comparison between the act of participating in a fandom and engaging in fan discussions is very similar to how making art works. That was the thing I was trying to say in that album. And that they were talking about then how they disagree with it. I was like, you didn't get this because if you got it, you wouldn't be so have interpreted in such a weird way. So I was like, okay, this is very funny. Um, so I just kind of ignored it. I think I read it. I saved a copy of it in case they deleted it. So I still have a copy of it. Um, and I never ended up talking to that person. I never ended up having a conversation. That friend who that person who hates me, they offered me to uh let me talk to that friend of theirs who wrote the review. I said no, I don't want to talk to this person. They sound lame and cringe. Um, and then years later, it was like maybe it was this year actually. Like this is like 4 years later. I get a message in radio music, radio music of our places, and I get a message, and it's that person who wrote the review, and they're telling me, hey, if you remember, I wrote a bad review of one of your albums years ago. I wanted to say I'm sorry. It was insensitive, and I was young. And now I'm making my own music, and now I realize how difficult making art is, and I thought that I was too hard on you for that. And they gave me this sent me this very sweet message about how like now they're working making their own art, and it may make them think about how harsh they were to other artists in the past, and that warmed my heart. That was like such a sweet message that they did not have to send, because I never wanted to talk to that person, and they wanted
Hmm.
to mend things with me, and it was so nice of them. So I told them, no hard feelings. I've talked about your review to my friends in the past before. I hope you're fine with that. I've made fun of it before, but good luck on your music. I told them good luck on your music. Thank you so much. It has a sweet ending to it, which this is why I talk about this story even more now. It's great.
I remember you told me about everything except for that conversation that he had. That's really a yeah, like
Yeah.
it's a very sweet sort of thing where yeah, the I felt the same way when I was reviewing years ago. If you look at some of my earlier reviews that I keep online, um, they're not good. I know that. It turned out about 2 years ago where I really realized the notion that people are reading this. Like what I write, people are reading it. Whether it's like if I wrote about you in some kind of really weird way, then you would read it. And if not, then your friends would read it. So it is my responsibility as a reviewer to make sure that I first understand what the album is about to refute any central arguments. If not, then a surface level, like I don't really like this album, is not even something I do anymore. If you noticed, compared to like the 2019 album review game, 2020 album review game, now
Mm-hmm.
2022, there's a distinct evolution where I don't write any negative criticism much anymore, unless it's like I was disappointed for this reason. Here is
Mm-hmm.
why. Here's the fairness of it. Outside of that, like I don't write any like, yeah, this album sucks. This person sucks, because it's like the most that I can comment on as a reviewer, as someone who doesn't make music. I don't make even like the occasional song or two. So my perspective on music is one of I'm going out living my life, and then in the evening I'll listen to music while writing. That's my perspective. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much of a stake involved. So I'm really happy to hear that that reviewer kind of realized that like it was probably like equal parts like going on from friends, maybe a bit of that kind of teenage energy to say like, ah, I'm gonna hate on something. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like years later, it's like, oh yeah, that was not good. Um
Yeah, I think we all go through that. Like I when I was
yeah.
apparently they were like the same age as me back then. When I was fucking 16, um, I was so bad. I was so annoying and obnoxious. Like I just told you, I acted like that. I was like, I'm the greatest artist ever lived, and I don't care. I don't care about the haters. I don't care about the criticisms. I mean, like, to be fair, I think that's a better attitude than being self-deprecating and hating your art all the time. I think that's slightly more preferable, but it was equally annoying. It was equally annoying, and I was like that for a few while. I think I was like that for at least 2 or 3 more years. I think I only like chilled out in like 2020 2021, I think when me as a person actually started like forming. I don't see myself before 2020 as like the same person I am right now.
I think what's really important too is to recognize that the person you were back then is still you, but you've evolved quite a lot. Um,
And I'm a girl
the
now.
person, say again.
I'm a girl now. Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
different.
exactly. But it's like more of like I think back to when I was 16. I was a radically different person in many regards than I am now at 36. That's
Yeah, 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah.
That's when I was born. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's definitely a time is this weird thing that
Yeah. Oh my god, 2002. What a year.
yeah, that was when you were born, right?
Mm-hmm. That was when the was the World Cups in Korea.
Yeah, I didn't really follow the World Cup much at all, so I
That's
can't
that's
really say too much on that.
that's all people remember about over here about that year.
Yeah, and that's like the we talked about this in our first podcast, the notion of like me as 36 and you as you said 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20 if I can do math correctly then. I want to help you succeed as much as I can because if I've lived your whole life in living memory, like I can remember 2002, I can remember that clearly.
Wow.
So if I can impart anything at all, like if I can be the older sibling and say like helping with OBS stuff, or if there's anything as a reviewer that I can listen to and say like, huh, that might require a little bit of change. That might be good to think about.
You're
Then,
also my IT help friend, so I just ask you.
yeah, I mean that's what I do for career wise. So hey,
Yeah.
hit me up.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So yeah, that's where like with I would say with this album with Dysfunctional Bunny Girl that it's something of a you can assess it as a fun pop album, or you can look at its deeper themes. And that's
Yeah.
something that when I wrote my review on my side on the 2022 album review game, like I wrote like 1,000+ words about it.
Yeah, you wrote so much about it. You made a whole whole different list.
I did just so like I told you about it before I did it because I was like I don't want to be weird about this, but this is what we used to do back in there was back in 2008 we used to do stuff like this where we used to like kind of do shit post kind of stuff. I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring up the I guess I'll bring it up on my side here. So the way I do it is I just like we just have all sorts of silly stuff on there. We just have all sorts of like post whatever and just kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. Which has been viewed 96 times here, but I copy and pasted the whole review and I just kind of I'm scrolling through right now, but it's like yeah, 10 paragraphs talking about all sorts of aspects of the album and I barely even covered the album. It's that interesting to me.
Yeah, you were talking about kind of it's like the beginning of a horror fucking essay.
Yeah, and I did in my very signature style where I always start every review with this album.
True. I love that.
So, what I wanted to say particularly is that this album is something of I know Cecily as a friend. We talk on her Discord often. Discord server. I moderate on her Discord server. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yet I don't know all of you. So it would be irresponsible and perhaps even inappropriate for me to look through this album, look through all the lyrics, and say, "Oh, I know Cecily," which is a long way of saying that this album could invite the idea of the parasocial relationship that a fan could have with you to say, "Oh, I know you now because I listened to this album." And Yeah, that's kind of why I said that in kind of the long way that I did was that I know you. Oh, it looks like your audio cut out maybe.
I keep pressing M.
Well, we still have my side.
Yeah, I'm
Can't hear
sorry.
Cess.
I'm sorry, guys. I was talking about how the album is about not not getting into parasocial. You should not get into a parasocial relationship, and like fall in love with someone who does not love you back in the way you think they do. That's the point of the album. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that I think if you can say that if you can come across in a way where it's like here is an album where parasocially you can understand Cecily a fair amount with this album. Like the Cecily I know, the behind the scenes, us as friends, Cecily is not radically different than the Cecily Renns featured on Dysfunctional Bunny Girl. To be clear, like you're not like offline. You're not radically different. Like you're not. I don't know. I couldn't say like a different kind of personality trait for you to kind of have a funny kind of example.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a shortcut to know you by any means. Like listening to this album isn't like you're now friends with Cecily.
Yeah,
Um,
but it
and I,
is step one because if you listen to this album and you come to my Discord server, I'm inherently gonna be interested in you and want to be friends with you because you like my album. So if you want to be friends with me, yeah, I mean, you can come talk to me. I have my Discord server is there. My DMs are open, but the album is not the way because the album is art and the album is a story, and I have carefully uh told the story in a way that makes the most narrative sense. So it's even if it's personal and most of the things happened, and the things that I say that people said to me are mostly verbatim, not completely. It still does not mean that you know my life because this is not my life. This is my art. And they are very different things. And sometimes I conflate the two. Sometimes I do. Um, One of the things again, another thing Bridget told me is that I think of my life as art. Is that's a problem I have? Is that I think about I think of my life as a story that I need to that I'm writing. And this is not actually a healthy attitude because this means that I expect everything to have a meaning and I expect certain things to happen because it will make sense for them to happen because that's how it is in art. In a story, things that make sense after a bunch of things happen. In life, that is not the case. In life, sometimes things just don't happen because you're not lucky. Because sometimes
mhm.
things are in life are random and it doesn't happen. And there's no fate, there's no destiny, there's no karma. Sometimes things just happen or not happen, and I have I grapple I have to grapple with that real hard because it's difficult for me to imagine life like that because I've always thought of my life as like one long big artistic story, and this is the problem I have. So even when I'm putting my life into art, I have to really force myself to separate the life from the art because it is different. They are not the same thing, and you have to do that too. You are not getting to know my life through my art. You are getting to know my art, which was inspired by my life, and you can know my life and get to know me if you become friends with me, which is not a hard thing. I'm not a closed off person, you know. Again, if you want to be friends with me, hey, I'm here. If you want to chat, but but listening to my music, the music is just music. It's a fun art thing. It's a fun art thing. That's the way I'm gonna describe it. It's a fun art thing, and it's a story. And what stories are is you make the meaning, and if you relate to it, which I'm very surprised that people relate to this album. People have told me that it's very relatable. That they it's really resonated with them. That is the weirdest thing for me to hear about this album in particular, because it's such a specific story that I feel like only like other people who have gone through the exact same thing feel like it's relatable. Like other musicians who tried to date one of their fans and it didn't go well. That's the type of person I would expect to find this relatable. But a lot of people just think it's a relatable album. Like the feeling of loving someone and that person not loving you back in a way that you want them to love back. In a way that you love them. Apparently that's very relatable. I was pleasantly surprised. So you can relate to it, it can resonate with you, and you can find it meaningful, and that means it becomes your album and your story, um, and that is the important bit. Not getting to know me, the me in this art is very irrelevant. How much of me is in this album is actually there? That doesn't matter as long as you can make it your own.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I feel that it's sort of um there's a lot to unpack with that kind of idea. So I'll start with the idea of for me, I work with two different versions of myself. The Zombiepaper, who I feel is the closer version to myself that I want to be. That's who I am. But then there's also Legal Name Redacted, who is the person that goes in to do work or
Of course.
goes to do anything like that. And
I
so
think any transgender person can relate to that experience.
yeah, so having that kind of separation then allows me to look at events a little more neutrally to say, if Legal Name Redacted gets into an argument at work, well, then Zombiepaper can go in and figure out the nuance of what Legal Name Redacted did wrong and all that. And I feel that because of this kind of split, I can understand both myself more and others. So I can understand that you are performing as Cecily Renns, who is about as much of yourself as you feel comfortable sharing online. But you have an equivalent to Legal Name Redacted in real life that goes to work and hangs out with family
Mm-hmm.
and friends and all that,
Mm-hmm.
who you're not sharing with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of the Legal Name Redacted is who you really meet when you talk offline, when you become friends, and that's the kind of person that you resonate with compared to the online persona that is more of like your ideal of your who you want to be.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. Like the online persona is who you wanna be, but not necessarily who you are.
mhm. Yeah, like I know that who I am as Legal Name Redacted or who I am with government paperwork and all that. I'm a flawed and messed up person. I
Mm-hmm.
can dress up that a lot as zombie paper, and I feel great when I'm zombie paper. But I also know too that that's something I put on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a kayfabe or like a performance, but it's closer to me as an authentic person, but it's still not the me that wakes up in the morning and like, oh yeah, I got to go to work kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
I've talked about this in the previous stream, but the thing where I do where I perform I perform narcissism a lot. I perform self confidence. So in these streams and in my Twitter, even in my Discord, even when I'm talking to people on the Discord server, um, I like to hype myself up. I like to be like listen to Dysfunctional Bodyguard, the best emo album released in 2022, which is true by the way. And like, I'm Cecily Renns. I'm a fucking punk rock superstar. I'm a big deal. I do this, and it's funny. It's funny to do this, and people find it funny too. People love it when I do this, and I feel great when I do it too. But that's not actually like kind of that's not really me, because when you talk to me on DMs or direct messages, I act very differently. I mean, I don't act necessarily act like a different person. I just tone it down. I just tone down the self confidence thing. I just tone it down a lot of times, and I'm more humble when you are talking to me privately. I try to I try to be more empathetic and less talk less about me. When I'm on a Discord server in front of a public, when I'm on a stream in front of a public, in front of an audience, I have to perform, and I have to be entertaining, and I have to be likable. So that's why I do it, and also it makes me feel better about myself because when I'm performing confidence, it makes me feel confident. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel great about myself. Um, but that's not necessarily me. And when I'm doing that, that doesn't mean I become a fake version of myself, because that is
Mm-hmm.
still a part of me. It's still if I truly, genuinely convince myself that I am that great and confident, then that just becomes the truth. But it doesn't mean that it's truth all the time. It doesn't mean it's value diminishes because when I'm talking with people privately, I tone it down. Um, it's just another part of the self that I have. Um, so yeah, it's like we are all. I think we are all performing all the time. It's just that when with me, I'm in front of a public often. I'm in front of a stream. I'm in front of the internet. When I make an art, when I'm in front of my Twitter followers, like I have more of an audience. So more than often, I have to get into the Cecily Renns persona. Um, when I was John J. Renns, the persona was a lot worse because it was like a lot clearer that I was performing. When I became Cecily, one of my stated goals in my head was to be a bit more authentic, to be a bit more chill and be myself online and on the public. Which is what part of what I'm doing these streams, because even when I'm doing these streams, I'm performing self confident, I'm being egotistical. But you can also see that I'm not really that kind of person. I'm not really that self obsessed. Like you can I hope you can tell. I hope you can tell because I really am not. Because if I was truly that fucking self egotistical and narcissistic, if I was actually a narcissist, like I would first off, I would not admit any of this. A narcissist would not admit the fact that they are performing a role. That is not what narcissists do. And second, uh, they would not try to like make themselves better either, like or act differently in private. Like a narcissist is just a narcissist. They are like that, whether they are in front of a public or not. Um, so I hope you can tell that it's just a thing I do to be funny and try to make people feel good, and because when people see me being like that, it's also it can be inspiring to see someone be really good at something and be confident about it and tell people, hey, you can do it too. That's another reason I do it. It's because I want to inspire people and make people believe in themselves more. Because I mean, if an artist they really love is all like, oh yeah, my art is fucking shit. You shouldn't like it. Why do you like my music? It's fucking garbage. If it's like that, they don't really feel good about it. So like, I try to be like, yeah, it is really good, right? And you can, I bet you, what you make is good too. Show me the music you make. I want to hear it. That's my like Cecily Ren's persona. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, let's make something together. Um, and that is me. That is, I love listening to people's music, and I do genuinely think most of the time the things that people show me are cool, and I also do genuinely think that my music is great. Those are not false things. The reason why it's not fake is because it's all just things I do believe in. I just exaggerate the confidence.
Yeah, I would say that you have about you have an extra 10% on top of who you are, and that's the kind of, like you say, the performance that you're not faking at all who you are. You're not performing as a you're not over there like as a completely different person off the mic. You are still yourself. You're just maybe more excited, more enthusiastic, whereas maybe off of the mic and off the spotlight, you maybe just experience reality a little bit more plainly. I think that might be a way to phrase that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah,
Or
and that's something that I think that many people might mix up, and they might look at you as almost like a cartoon character, but you're a lot more complex than a cartoon
I
character.
am a cartoon character. Look at my stream. Look at my little PNG tuber jumping around. I am a cartoon.
Oh, on my side too, I'm a cartoon character that's jumping all over the place.
Yeah, and there's a mug
But
with your face on it. It's spinning, spinny. I need to go
yeah,
get more fucking coffee later.
I got some iced coffee. That
Yeah, I don't like hot
yeah,
coffee. Hot coffee is not. I don't like. I like the cold ones.
I like any kind of coffee that has caffeine in it.
Nice based. A Scallop said in the chat that that's what religion is. By the way, art made religion. I think this when I was talking about how art and life is different and like stuff like that. That's what they were referring to.
Hmm.
Um, I actually have a very interesting, complex answer to this. I have a whole thing about how I think art and religion is very related. And how about how like I have a whole philosophy about this. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing in this podcast because we have to talk about the album. Um, but I have a whole thing about how I believe that that what God is, it's art. Art is what God is because when so like it's because like how people get inspired. So when like people talk about religious experiences or spiritual experiences or like getting premonitions or like divine callings from like a god, uh and they do things like they go out and preach and stuff like that and or like fight in a war because God told them to do it. It's you hear stuff like that, and I was thinking about how like when you hear a song and you like it and you have this kind of emotional experience with it and you want to write the same kind of song, so you go and make an artwork that is like that song you heard, that is very similar to that spiritual experience that the missionary had or whatever. I was so like I have this whole philosophy that art there's a god inside every work of art that's ever been in made, because it's like it's like you were like the act of being inspired by something to do something. It's fundamentally the same thing between spirit, like faith and artistic creation. So I have a whole thing about this. I shouldn't talk about it any longer because it's I'm just gonna keep talking about it. But this is a
That'll be
thing I
our
can talk.
fourth episode.
Yeah, someday the return of the SIP, the semi-interactive podcast, that can be it.
Yeah. Well, I did want to say too, as far as returning back to the album, my favorite song is June. I got to say
Yeah.
that it's because it's the lead single. Like that's the single that like you could shop around and say like this is what I am. This is who I am, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a fantastic song. It's very emotional. It very much is like you hear this song and you say, "Wow, that I can relate to that." Very similar to what like the other question there was relates as in they've been there, the audience, or they can imagine themselves in this situation. And I think it's more of the idea of relating to a situation where throughout the whole album is about, like you say, the parasocial relationship between a musician and a fan. But that's also just a very, if you take the analogy a little bit less strict and you say more of a relationship between one person, another person, where the relationship isn't between the person, the two that know each other behind the scenes, the quote legal name redacted unquote, like I mentioned before, but more of like the relationship between the legal name redacted as the fan and the Cecily Renns as the performer, where there is not much of that kind of, you don't know the full
Oh,
side of Cecily.
goodbye,
That
Mavis.
Oh, and yeah, take care there.
Mm. So yeah,
So yeah,
that makes
oh,
sense.
it's a very interesting idea because it's not something that, for me, we didn't really have the idea of parasocial relationships because we never really thought about, like, in the 90s, you never really thought of like the people on TV. If there's still a TV, you never really thought of them as people you could relate to, or like interact with. So there was always kind of like that separation.
Social
Uh,
media kind of broke that barrier down, and now people seem a lot more approachable than they actually are. I mean, the
mhm.
thing with me is that I literally am approachable. You can just message me on Discord and I talk to you. You don't need to know. I don't need to know who you are.
I'm the same, and that's something that I find is tricky for some people to know that, yeah, you can talk to me. You can, like, I have a joke in my Discord profile that my DMs are mostly open. The joke is like when I'm asleep, I can't answer that.
True though, that is true.
It's- yeah, and it's just like, yeah, because of that, having grown up around the idea of like I can't message my favorite rock musicians or my favorite rap musicians, so I can't have a rapport with these people. But through social media, yeah, you can, and that creates a sort of weird approach where then you have to address that sometimes. You have to say that, yeah, you can have a relationship with me as a performer, but that isn't me, the person that you meet when we talk and we have a conversation that isn't a performance to be recorded and uploaded online.
Mm-hmm. You were talking about June.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting because that is the most Weezer sounding song in the album.
Oh, way to like hit me deep as a I would say a well, I gave all their albums a 2 out of 5 on Rate Your Music,
Yeah,
so that's
true.
my
It's so funny. It has like it's like the most power pop song in the album. It's like a slow power pop song. I do like that song. I cried while doing the vocals for that song. I was crying. Um
I think that's why I like it so much, is that it really shows that emotion very clearly.
mhm. Oh my god, the lyrics in this album. In this song particularly, it's so it's so if I was forced to sing these songs live again, I don't know if I could contain the tears. It's too personal to me. That last part, like, I didn't need you to fix me. Oh my god, I was freaking out when I was doing those vocals. I was straight up freaking out because, like, those are just all the things that I wish I could have said, and I didn't. I didn't say those things, and I wish I did. But I didn't because they blocked me. They blocked me before I could say those things on Discord. So I wrote a song instead.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you know my feelings on blocking, but I think it's kind of a good thing to be able to block people. Um,
Oh, really? When someone blocks me, I wish that he would have at least told me in advance because like, hopefully I'm the type of person who they know that if you tell me that you're gonna block me, I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna be that bothered by it. I mean, like, sometimes you just don't want to hear from someone. Sometimes you just don't like someone. I like that. I like that honesty. But if someone just blocks me out of nowhere, um, I do get a little frustrated. I get annoyed because, like I especially if it's someone who I had no idea if they had a problem with me. I'm like, what did I do? What the fuck happened here? I mean, it's their right to block anyone. I just get fucking I just get mad.
yeah, I mean, I'm someone who, I know that some people have blocked me and I've blocked some other people. And I think of it like it's a good thing because we can't all be friends. We can't all love each other. And so knowing that some people don't like me is kind of a an inspiration for me to keep on doing what I think is a good thing, because that means that, hey, there's some people that hate this. All right,
Mm-hmm.
that means I made an impression on those people. it's it's so weird when I come across people that hate me for something. It's usually when my reputation precedes me in a way that is a little bit gnarled up, um, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
represent me. But I mean, if they don't like me enough to block me, and I don't know them at all, then it's like, all right, well, that saves me a lot of time. It also came up too with someone who recently blocked me that, or I recently blocked this person that saved me like a whole, like I imagine there was a whole paragraphs long critique of some problem I did, and so I didn't have to read that.
uh,
Like, that would be a waste of my time, a waste of my life to read your criticism of me in a way that I don't care about anyway. So I'm sorry.
I couldn't resist that. I would read it. I have to read everything that's ever been said about me.
Oh, I feel like there's a certain degree where I just let it go and
Uh
just
huh.
like,
I think that's the level of maturity between the two of us. You have the life experience to know that most of the time it's fucking useless. But I want to know.
well, I give more credence to when the criticism actually refutes the central argument and isn't just an ad hominem attack about how I'm a big old dum dum. Uh,
Yeah. uh, that's a. By the way, to say that June is the singer is very surprising to me. Because I feel like the second and third songs are a bit more single. Like the third song, now I think now that's the lead. That is the lead single material. Which what it was the second single that I put out.
I mean, I'm a little bit biased because you did actually release it as a single. You did have it as a video
Yeah,
on your
June
channel.
was the final single. I made that song. I was like, okay, I need to make the rest of the album because I just had those three songs. And I've been making this album for fucking 4 months. There's also a song that is one of the songs where it should have been the single, but it wasn't a single, and it's only in the album. It's like "There Is a Light That Never Goes Out" in "The Queen Is Dead" by the Smiths. I love that song. That wasn't a single, somehow, even though it's like the most popular song. Um, that song in this album is the worst. That should have been a single. It would have been a single if I had made it before June. Um, that song is like a lot of people have said that is their favorite song because it's just so catchy and energetic. Oh my god, that song the worst. That's just me making a Zeb Stock song. It's great, I think. I love that. I love that song. That might be one of my favorite songs in the album.
So when I listen to the album, I tend to go about it like I said before, where I'll listen to the album in the background while doing other things. Um, the way that I'd phrase this is there's like dark room albums where you listen to it with all the lights out and you just kind of listen to the full album, you give it your full attention.
Yeah,
um I don't do that much at all, maybe once a year.
I have different
A
kinds of
very
albums. Usually, if like an album is like, uh, if it's like an album that I've been hyped up and expecting for a long time, I'll do that. But usually, if it's random new album I'm listening to, I'm reading something while listening to it.
reading, that's a I can't read while listening
Oh,
to music. I can't, because like for me reading it depends on what it is. If it's reading fiction, I have to give it my full attention.
I
um
can I read tons of books while I'm listening to music. The reason I can do that is because I don't hear the words in music in a song. When someone is singing, I can't like I can't make it on any of the words. I have to look up the lyrics, so I can just like, ignore the words.
Yeah, that I understand that quite a bit by way of Nirvana. That I couldn't understand what Cobain was singing half the time, and
Yeah, I
then
think
eventually,
I think that's intentional. He was just saying that way.
yeah, he wrote the melodies, and then he'd make the lyrics kind of bend to that. So definitely,
I just realized that I hadn't have the chat up at my stream this whole time. I didn't have the chat up. Of course, I go
and
to that. Oh my god.
yeah, the chat is disabled for this live stream live event.
Yeah, I can change that. By the way, there's still people watching. Hello, thank you for watching the stream. Oh my god, there's one subscriber left for 1,000. Let's go, everyone. We can do this.
Yeah, if you feel like it, definitely.
Yeah, no pressure. Just one more, but no pressure. Anyway, uh,
I was someone's 600th follower on LinkedIn today.
wow,
So
yeah,
that
you have a
was
LinkedIn?
I'm 36. I work.
It's true though.
And
Uh,
I got my new job I'm starting
uh,
soon by way of my LinkedIn
do you
profile.
have to put your legal name on that?
Yeah, so I'm not going to say
Yeah,
I'm not going to
yeah,
disclose my legal name here, and I'm not going to disclose
yeah,
where I'm going to be working.
yeah,
But I will say that some random recruiter reached out to me. We
yeah.
had an interview, and I'm starting soon, so
Oh,
I'm happy about
that's
that.
nice. Let's go.
Yeah, and like that's the thing of like my reputation as the legal name redacted that is on LinkedIn is preceding me, so that way people will reach out to me. They'll see my credentials, they'll see all the stuff, my work history, and the funny thing was with this is this recruiter didn't ask for any references because my LinkedIn profile has references.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like either that or they don't care. It could be one or the other, but
Yeah.
I want to believe that it's like my profile. You click on that, and it's like, oh, because there's a recommendations page section where you can like ask people for recommendations. You can do all this, and it's like, yeah,
Oh.
there's like 10 or 15 people that have done that over the years. So
Wow,
definitely,
nice.
I mean, what can I say, Cecily? My reputation precedes me.
It's true though. You must be great at your job.
Yeah, I try not to brag. Um,
You
in
should
part
brag a
because
bit more often.
well the thing about bragging is that if I say like, oh yeah, I'm a tech support goon, I know what I'm doing, then if someone reaches out to me for advice and I don't know that, well, I need to go find someone who does. I need to get help with that to figure it out. And so yeah, something like that is where I don't want to brag too much there. So I won't say a but on there.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say that over about a dozen years of work, and I got pretty good at my job. And yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to work.
Hey,
It'll be
yeah.
really nice.
Good luck. I'm very excited for you. I hope you'll make a lot of money.
Thank you. Yeah, as long as I don't fail, I'll
Yeah.
be getting money, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, that's very important to not dying.
Indeed.
I will buy.
and
I want to make a lot of money. That's like one of the reasons I want to be popular, but because I'm not gonna get like that much money. Um, I have a job. I have a job. I teach. I teach at an English school. I teach English to kids, like toddlers. That's the job I have, and it pays very bad because it's supposed to be like a job for like foreign like exchange students in Korea, that like that's like who they are kind of appealing to. So they are paying me the same as the foreigners that they're paying. It's not much, obviously. Um, I should probably get a second job because the this one I have, it pays so little that if I just kind of eat twice every day and take the bus, that's like everything. I use of everything.
Ooh, yeah, that. But I mean, like, I've known people that went to Korea to do that, to teach English, and that's really good for those folks to get some kind of way in to have enough money for an apartment.
Yeah,
So,
that it's kind of sad that if you wanna if you're a foreigner who wants to live in Korea, just again completely unrelated to the album, but this is a serious systemic problem, which is that foreigners, the only way they can settle into Korea is either being a English teacher or being like a low wage fucking factory worker. Like that's like the only two things you can do. You can't assimilate into Korean society otherwise. It sucks actually. Um, it should get better, but I mean, if you're like a full time English teacher at like like a public school, then yeah, you get paid pretty well. This is like a private a cat like a private like daycare toddlers academy. Um, so so that's kind of the reason why also I work part time, so I don't work a lot of hours. Um, I have to uh I get Fridays off. That's why I'm doing this today. Oh, I have to go. It's tomorrow Saturday and I have to go to work again. I have to work Saturdays.
I think it's really interesting hearing about the musicians' day jobs because
It
that's
is
something that,
because we all have to have one.
yeah,
We can't make money from music unless you're like fucking unless you're like Billie Eilish. You're not gonna make a living.
I think that's where it's important when talking about if you like a musician, if you have the ability to pay for the music, of course, then what you're doing is you're not just paying like, oh, you download the MP3s, now you have a copy that you've bought compared to stream. It's like you're actually helping Cecily out with whether it's rent, whether it's food, whether it's something like
Yeah. By the
recording
way,
equipment.
this functional bunny got on Bandcamp. You can buy it, or you can So if you message me, if you give me $15, I make you a song. Okay, you can commission me to make a song. That you can do this too. Okay, if you
Hell
want to give
yeah.
me money, this is the best way to do it. Just give me money, and I make you a song. Um, and maybe you will be able to help me escape my fucking transphobic household, which is where I live in. Um, my family disowned me very recently because they found out I was transgender. This is the real thing that happened. Um, I have to reassure you that it's real, so that you realize that I'm not joking. I'm serious. It happened, and that's why I need money. Um, so if you give me money, it would help me. I'm telling you, it would help me a lot.
Yeah, we talked about this actually at length in the Discord on the server that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and some folks like Skelope helped out. So
Thank you so
they
much.
definitely, yeah, that was fantastic of you. Thank you. Um, I know right now, like I need the job and I need the money, so I don't have any. I have enough disposable income for some like some energy drinks and some like iced coffee kind of stuff like that. I don't have much
Oh,
else disposable
it's
income for
okay. It's totally
the
okay.
next until I start getting money. Then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like when before COVID, before my disability kind of stuff. When I go to concerts, I'd definitely be like, if I thought the band was halfway okay, if I was like I think that like I had a good time. I'd buy any merchandise I thought was halfway decent. I'm wearing a shirt from a band Ex Mortis that is a fairly they do like what do they do like kind of classical renditions of music, but with like speed metal kind of music.
Very
And they're
nice.
just like I thought their music was good. I wanted to buy some of the merchandise because I know for a fact that some of these musicians, that money, if I give them $10, that's going to be gas money for them to get to the next show.
Hmm.
It's either that or that if I didn't give them the $10, then they might have been like, yeah, we could get burgers or we could skip a meal before the show, kind of thing.
God,
So I know that.
I'm so bad with money. I'm trying to save money just by like eating cheaper stuff, but like
Hmm.
I'm so bad. I keep spending more fucking shit. I just keep buying shit. I've never had an income before this job, so it's hard for me.
Well, this is something of me being your kind of older sibling, if you will,
Yeah,
where
I love that.
I'll just say that this is just a thing that happens for everyone when you
Mm-hmm.
get your first job and you get that disposable income. It's like, hey, I have money.
Yeah.
So don't be too hard on yourself. I would definitely say like try to be mindful of it, but like, hey, this is the point where you're getting money coming in and you're also dealing with the idea of like, yeah, I don't want to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely try to balance out in a good way. Maybe this could be an idea for you, just to throw it out there. The music you get from Bandcamp, like keep that in, and then invest that into recording stuff, and then your day jobs type stuff.
Oh yeah,
Use that for.
that's exactly what I've done.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah,
I
then
used to
then you're responsible. Yeah.
I got a so I did get a lot of money from commissions when I first told people, "Hey, I might get kicked out of my house. Can you give me money?" That actually worked. A lot of people were generous enough, and thank you again if you're listening to it and you helped me out. So I did get a lot of money. I wanted to save a lot of those, but I thought like I also needed like an upgrade in my equipment really bad. So I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought this mic. This mic. I bought this is the SM58, the popular mic. It's $100, but I got it used for like $30. Hey, that's a good deal. And I bought some
Yeah.
headphones, and I had bought like speakers. I mean, so like I probably spent like I don't know. I'm gonna guess like $500 on all the stuff I bought because I also bought a keyboard. I bought some stuff. Some of them were used and some of them were like I ordered them. Um, so I would say like I spent like half of that because I got like around like 1,000 from the commissions that I asked for. This is a lot, by the way. That's the most
It
money I've
is.
ever fucking had. So I would say I spent like half of that on buying all this equipment stuff. But I also do really need to save it because like the average rent in Seoul, which is the place I live in, is hell. It's absolute fucking hell. It's like there's like a usually there's like a um
Hmm.
single deposit payment, and they can be like $3,000. Like that's like a pretty average house. If you go to a pretty shitty house, it can go down pretty a lot. There's a deposit payment, and there's the rent, which is usually like
Hmm.
$400-$500 every month. It's crazy. That's for one room. By the way, I'm talking about a one room apartment, not even a whole house, a one room. Um, it's crazy. But I mean, all I need is one room, so I don't care. But I do need to make a lot of money to get something like that. Uh, so again, that's you posted my Discord. Thank you so much. that is my describe. You just want to talk to me. You can also just message me. By the way, you just talk to me. I'll talk to you. Um, yeah. Oh my god. I hate being an
I would
adult. I hate being an adult so much. I hated being a high school student. High school was the worst thing ever. But I hate being an adult too.
Well, I'll say this. I know that this is going to be the older sibling kind of tough love approach here. So don't look at this money as yours.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it like when we give you money, that is money toward that new apartment. That could be $4,000, let's say $4,000 to get into that new apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and you have 500. So you have to earn at least 3,500 more to comfortably move in. And
Mm-hmm.
so the work that you're doing, the part-time work that you're doing with your teaching English, just you have to figure out a way to salvage a lot of that money and say to yourself, the money that I'm earning here is getting me a better place
Mm-hmm.
and getting me a better future. Very similar to me, like right now, like
Yeah.
I'm starting a job that I'm scared I'm not physically capable of doing because 3 months ago I was extremely disabled,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm just barely not extremely disabled, and
Uh-huh.
yet I must push myself to basically the breaking point each and every day to go do the job, but I need to do it. And that's something
Yeah,
that
we have to
in my
survive.
mind there is no oh, I'll just take it a day. I'll take it easy
Mm-hmm.
because of the mess I'm in. I have no choice but to do that, to rise
Yeah,
to that occasion.
of
So
course.
me as the older sibling, to help you out, I would just say like, hey, think of it like that and think about like, yeah, you have it more luxurious now that you
Mm-hmm.
can kind of be a little bit more comfortable, but you're still really not comfortable. And so everything you bought so far, I think you probably did in a way to help broadcast out more. So when you make the new album, it's going to be like, oh, cool, this is an album that I can buy into. I can support this. You have better equipment to do that. So you didn't just waste on like $500 on buying a bunch of cheeseburgers.
Yeah, so I did feel really bad about spending that money because when I get money for my music,
hmm
again, actually, just like you said, I don't even consider it like money I've earned or like from my labor. I consider it as donations. So when I get a donation, I feel like I shouldn't use this because it's like people entrusted me. It's not a boss who rewarded me for my labor. That's the
hmm
money that I deserve because I perform labor for them. But with this donated money, it's like people entrusted me with with the money that they made from their wage labor. They gave me this money because they thought I needed it more than them. So I
hmm
consider that very precious. So in the past, when I got money from album sale, Bandcamp album sales, I only used that money to buy other albums by the other musicians have made that I wanted to support. So like usually like people who would get less album sales than me. So I like spend like $10-15, buying albums because I think I'm just doing the same thing. I think these artists deserve this money more than me, like more than I do. I want to support this community. That's the
hmm
only thing I spend money on. And when I bought all this equipment, I felt so selfish because like this is because I wanted. But also I try to tell myself like I'm gonna be making music for a lot longer. Like I've been making music for 6 years. Like all factors indicate I'm gonna be making it for another 6 more years. So this $500 is probably gonna be the only $500 I'm gonna have to spend for at least the other 6 years I'm gonna be making music. Because I mean I bought pretty good stuff. I'm not gonna have to upgrade it for a long time. Um So like that's what I try to tell myself. At least I'm not buying it on useless fucking shit. I did spend a few like maybe like $100. This is before commissions. This was I used album sales. On like clothes. I did buy some clothes. Like I bought like a skirt. That is something I bought. That's something I probably should have saved some money on.
Well, I think that it's okay to have some luxuries like that,
Hmm.
and I think so. I'm glad that I asked you about this. I'm glad that we because this was a topic that before we even started our first podcast, I was like, "Are you doing okay with all this?" We
Hmm.
didn't really follow up on this, and for me, I think everything you've done is perfectly fine. I have no red flags. I have no concerns over that because you did ask for the money for the sake of getting rent, and when when you asked, that was like this could be happening tomorrow. So that's why people flooded in and settle like helped you out like that.
Yeah,
When you
at
figured,
the time I was very scared. Like
oh yeah, I remember that.
the situation calmed down very fast, but at the time I was kind of freaking out. That this was like I didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. I hate begging for money. I think that's the worst feeling I've ever felt. Is was begging for money on Twitter.
Yeah, and that's where I want to make sure that me as a critic, right? I'm speaking as a music critic. With the knowledge that you presented to me, I would say that's about as reasonable as anything that I've ever heard. Where you you ask for the money, things kind of settle down. You still have that need, but it's less of a pressing need. It's more of like now it's like it would just be really nice and something that you would need, but you're not like being kicked out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I I give you my full respect, and I say that hey, that recording gear will help you get more money. People will see that you're working really hard
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing what you can. So I
No.
mean, like this album is proof that you've done a lot. You're 20 years old.
Yeah.
You've done a lot.
I made 12 albums in a year. I did do a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I do get insecure about it. I think I'm pretty bad with money. Um, but hopefully I get better. I need to get I need to get a second job. This one part time job is not gonna make me enough. Um, because like I wanna move out and like maybe at least within a year. Like
Hmm.
maybe a year from now. And if I save up like $300 every month for a year, uh, that's gonna that's like almost like $4,000. So that's gonna be enough. But I don't want to actually have to wait a whole year. I wanna get out faster. So I should probably get a second job. I could handle a second job. Also, there are still people watching. Hello, Tara is here. Tara or Script. Um, and him from the last stream, the legend has returned. Hello, everybody.
Hey
Yes,
everyone,
by the way, I'm one subscriber away from 1,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? Actually, did I make it? No, what? Still one subscriber away. 999. Let's go. The road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get to 1,000 in this stream. Let's
who
go.
wants to be number 1000?
Who wants to be number 1,000? Maybe I should make a tweet about this.
You should. You should definitely make a tweet about that and say that you're just about there. Winner gets the prize of feeling that 1000.
The winner gets that warm, fuzzy feeling in their heart.
Yeah, I while you write that though, I'll just say that I'm really happy to have heard about all of this because this is the idea that I talked about by way of when I go to a show and I buy merch for people that I think deserve the money. I feel that yeah,
Mhm.
maybe you could um, save money here and there by going to a grocery store and buying food compared to going out to eat. I don't know,
Mhm.
but from what you told me, I think that you did it reasonably well, and you didn't waste the money. You didn't go out and like I don't know, go to Gangnam and go buy a whole bunch of clothes. So hey, you did well for yourself. You didn't go fly out to Busan for a week and party out there.
True though.
So yeah, I mean, like you're young. You don't. This is the most money you ever had, and you thought there's some equipment that could really help me make music that people would appreciate. And I feel like these sorts of things, like you don't have the benefit of me when I was like 20. I was able to screw around quite a lot more and not be as widely broadcasted out compared to you. So
Mhm.
if I had $1,000 just hanging out when I was 20, let me think. 2002, I was in high school. Um, I was just getting into community college right around that time.
Ooh.
I think it was right around that time, and yeah, if I had $1,000, I didn't move out of my parents' place until well, I've been living on my own for 11 years now. So 11 years. So that was 2011 was when I moved out of my parents' place and all that kind of stuff. So 2011 minus 1986 gives us how old I was, and I'll do that math for all of us here. I'm 25 years old. So you moving out at 21 even as 4 years before me.
Let's hope for that.
I hope so too. I hope as long as you do it well, like I say, like with my job, if I pace myself well, when I start on that first stage, just say like, okay, put it all in there and do the best I can. And if I'm really slow, as in like physically slow and unable to work, just remember like, what excuse can I give to them to kind of appease that while also remembering I haven't worked for like 2.5, 3 years almost.
Mhm.
It's okay. That kind of
Yeah.
perfectionism really will bite me in the ass.
Mhm. I'm glad we got to talk about this. I think this is very helpful for me.
I'm glad too. Yeah, that's it's something that how do I phrase this best? Getting money through being a musician is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah,
So
and I'm very
when you do,
lucky to have people who would give me $1,000 a dollar.
hmm
I think I'm very I try to feel grateful for that.
and I think that you did everything the best that you could have. Like, hey, buying buying equipment to help you make more music as a way to get more people interested, to get that last subscriber to reach that 1,000 subscribers. That's
1,000 subscribers, at least 500 of those are like years old. I got them when I used to illegally upload anime songs to YouTube. um.
you know,
Oh no!
the
One
things you
person, one person unsubscribed. It's fucking. It's 998 now. Uh-oh. Who was it? Who? What? Which one of you? Oh, just kidding.
I think says something really interesting though. Trying to make money off of any hobby like music or general art is pretty hard for sure, and that's something I was going to say too. That the work that I do of technical support is good money. And I'm not going to brag here, so please don't take it as this. Good money, but you have to sacrifice a lot of yourself to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like having like a full time job, like 8 days, 8 hours, 5 days a week. I don't know if I could fucking do that. Oh my god.
uh, the way that I did it, um, pre-COVID, like right when I was realizing like I want to write a lot and I want to figure out a way to do that was wasn't a whole lot of sleep. It was very unhealthy. So the way I'm going to be doing this now is prioritizing sleep, and then before work and after work, have a few hours to say like, all right, I want to do stuff toward. My big expenditure right now is my apartment is super expensive. The rent increased significantly
Oh
over the
my
past few
god.
years,
That sucks.
so I need to move out. But in order to move out, the thing in the United States here is that you need to have what do they call it, proof of income, and that proof of income must be a certain percentage of the rent. And since I haven't worked in a few years, I can't prove income unless I want to lie to the government.
That would be based.
It would be based in not goodness. So, and I'm not even saying this to like be legally protected. It would be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you have to do it for the sake of surviving, I don't judge, but
Yeah.
it would be very bad for me to do that. So might as well work. And hey, Rex Rad on both Red Rad, sorry, Red
Red
Rax,
Rax is here. Hello, my favorite viewer. Hello.
and on my side as well. Hello as well. Yeah,
Hey, nice.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate people popping in.
And both streams that now that they are such a true fan, a true friend.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we were talking about, and I wanted to kind of like tie this in because it might seem a little bit unrelated, but I feel like ultimately the idea of when you make music, you're making a product that you would like to sell without selling out. Like I was saying with your Russian fans, that you don't want to sell out and make a random song. You want to find something you like and then make a cover of it because
Yeah.
that could be a really cool kind of crossover. That could be
It's it,
something where
it sort of is a marketing strategy because I know that if I make a cover of Paranoia, who is a pretty well known artist now in the emo scene, I know that if I make a cover of, I know this because other people have made covers of their music and they get a lot of views. So I know that it's gonna get a lot of views if I make covers of like Paranoia and Weather Day. These are like popular artists. Um, so like I know that, but I also want to make covers of them because I love these songs, and I've been having so much fun making these covers, like and just singing them. I'm gonna go sing one of them after this. After this, I'm gonna go do the fucking Paranoia cover. Um, so I that the covers I'm prioritizing are like that balance of artists whose fans would really like my music and would support my cover. Um, and the artists that I really enjoy. Because if I just wanted to make popular covers, there's so many musicians I could be making covers of. There's so many of them, so many popular ones that I could make covers of. Um, it wouldn't even have to be like pop artists. I could just make covers of like the most popular indie rock bands out there right now. I don't know what are the indie rock bands that are popular right now. Like Black Midi, I guess Black Midi.
huh,
I don't listen to them. Anyway, I could be making a lot of other covers, but I don't want to do that because I like this is what I like. I like Paranoia. I like them. So like I'm trying to hit that balance of something I want to make and something I know that's gonna get views. I don't want to lean too much on one or the other side. Because if I just wanted to make covers that I only like, it would just be like, um, it's basically covers of my friends' songs, which I also want to do. There's gonna be a few like that in the album. I'm gonna sneak some of them in. I'm gonna sneak some of the more less known artists in.
well, like the way that I found you was through a cover of a musician that at the time I respected and the time you respect enough to make a cover of. So that speaks to the idea of if you make a song that people like, people dig it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Someone asks
that
like, how do you do something like make music or any other hobby as a job without literally dying and hating it? I think the answer to this is that you don't. You end up hating it. You have to, I think. Um, you just have to. You just kind of, I guess, learn to love the other aspects of it, like uh, collaborating with your friends, interacting with your audience, listening to other or your other favorite artists and writing new songs like that. That's the part that would give you a lot of satisfaction. But once it becomes like a day job, I mean, I think everyone's will end up hating it. Um, that's what
I'll
capitalism does for you.
I'll interrupt by saying that having worked many different types of jobs over the years, not just IT jobs, but I worked in various minimal wage jobs, we'll say, because not all of them pay right at the minimum wage. Some pay a few cents more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can definitely say that if I were to accrue any income doing anything creative at all, I would say that doing this is a lot better than baling cloth at a thrift store at a pace where they would criticize me for not busting my ass.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
thing. This is way better than like physical labor. That's I couldn't do that. I would be so shitty at it.
yeah, and then Red says there's a saying about not making your hobby your job that I can't quite remember. It's something about like don't quit your day job is one variant I've always heard where they're like uh, kind of referring to the idea that don't quit your day job until this is really good. Typically, that's more of a negative, like, this music sucks. Don't quit your day job. But it's also like, it's the idea of keeping a hobby separate from your job. I've always taken this as you want a hobby to be something that you can screw up on that doesn't affect your rent or your ability to eat tomorrow. Whereas with your job, you have to go and perform to that level each and every day. And you may have an off day. This has been my career is that in IT, your off day, you're probably thinking of like, how do I fix this to be more efficient next time so I can decrease the time it takes to fix these issues?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if it lets you like that would consume the first few years of my career was like I'm spin my wheels on this. I don't know what to do. That would drive me wild. So yeah, having a hobby is something that is just as simple as I don't have to do anything to appease the capitalistic society that I live within in order to pay my rent, and I can have fun with this. So a
Yeah,
lot of people have hobbies that are like television. It's like you you can't really do much with that, but it's safe.
I think it's funny because for me, like making music is like a job for me. So
Mm.
I just like, I do try to think a lot about like what people like, um, how I could make it more marketable, more appealing. That this is something I do think about music, and I don't think it makes my music worse. It just makes me think about it differently when I make it. And like surprising, like the all I would say music is not my hobby because I do take it seriously, and now people give me money for it, so I can really in good conscience say it's my hobby. I would say my hobby is like writing. Writing is my hobby. Reading books is my hobby. Listening to music is my hobby. Those things don't make me money. Um, at least not yet. Not yet. At least maybe it could make me money, and I could monetize it someday. Uh, but I want to keep those as my hobbies because I love doing those. I love writing books and stories. This is one of my favorite things to do. Uh, I don't love making music. I don't find it fun most of the time. Making these covers has been really fun. Making this album wasn't that fun. I just made it because I physically had to make this album after what happened to me. Um, making these covers have been fun. I've been rediscovering what it means for making music to be entertaining again, enjoyable. I haven't felt that in so long. Oh my god! Like I didn't feel it all the way through 2021. It's been at least a few years. Just Christ.
I respect deeply what you say there about how you approach music because you're not screwing around with it,
Oh
and
yeah,
that
obviously.
shows.
I have to be honest, and I try to be genuine and just tell people like I made this album, and there are compromises that I took for it.
Hmm.
There were aspects about it where I exaggerate in order so that the album would be more appealing to people. Like I exaggerate like I mean the gay part of it, the trans part of it. All of that is like, the being gay, doing being trans. Technically, those things don't have a lot to do with what this album is about. I mean, I don't talk about being gay or trans. It's an album about a girl who likes another girl that makes it gay. It's an album about being trans because I talk a little bit about I used to present male, then now I present female, and there are some metaphors about that. But that's not what the album is about. Well, I do exaggerate that aspect. I say that this is a very gay album. I say this is a queer album because I'm queer, I'm gay, and I'm the person who made the album. That basically makes the album also very queer. That's like the logic, and so I exaggerate that and use that in the marketing process because that way, other gay people will look at my album and go, "This is a cute looking album. I listen to it." That's why I do
Hmm.
it. That's the main reason why I do that. Not because I think being gay or being trans is so important to my art. Sometimes it is, and this time it's not really. Um, and there are other parts about it too that I was consciously taking from recent emo projects that have been becoming very popular, like Weather Day. And I was constantly trying to take influence from them, so that my album can sound similar, and so that people will make those comparisons, and in return that would kind of boost the album in the minds of the people eyes that people think, oh, this is the album that sounds like Paranor or Weather Day or Shinsei Kamata. It's like they think that, or Jeff Rosenstock, or they think that, they hear that, and they come listen to my album too. I know I think a lot about the marketing and the advertising aspect of my albums because now it is money to me, and now being popular is like actually relevant to my survival. I think about it a lot. So I'm not gonna play around. I'm gonna say that this album, even though it seems so personal and raw, there's a lot of compromises and calculations that I made about it.
It's that manufactured honesty we were talking about
It
in
is
the first
it is the
podcast.
thing, yeah. It all comes back. This is how those this is the thing with the fucking the semi interactive podcast. Things just keep coming back. The themes keep coming back.
Yep. But it's also like we talk about so much stuff, but all of it kind of is rooted in the same idea that I enjoy your music, you enjoy making music, and it's one of those things where I haven't listened to a song of yours where I've hated it or felt like, oh, I absolutely don't understand what's going on and I don't really care about it because if I found something like that, I'd probably just be like, oh, whatever. I'm not going to focus on it. I'm going to move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super important to me to be critical of that. What I'm more critical of is to see your growth and development and to see that you're going in a positive direction and to see that if I'm noticing that, say, like I listened to this album and I was just like, wow, I didn't care for it too much. What happened? that
Mm-hmm.
would be that would be a private conversation. I wouldn't be like slamming you online about it because it would just be like it's almost like I don't want to say this. The way that I'm going to phrase this sounds kind of weird, but it's like I'm investing in you as a musician, and I'm investing in seeing your musicianship grow. I want to see that 5 out of 5 album from you, where I'm just like, yeah, no, this is there's no debate about this. There's no like having listened to the new Kendrick Lamar album. I was thinking back through his discography of, do I think that he deserves a 5 out of 5 from me? And the answer is no. I don't think that the new album is a 5 out of 5 for Lamar, and I don't think that this is a 5 out of 5 album. But I genuinely believe that you have it in yourself, Cecily, to make a 5 out of 5 album that I'd want to listen to, where I'd put it on and I'd forget I'm listening to it because there's just it's so good. And
Uh-huh.
I think that you have it in you, but it's probably going to take you 5, 10 years.
I guess I can wait that long. Also, we have 5,000. We have 1,000 subscribers. We did.
Hell yeah, we did it.
And nobody unsubscribed now. Nobody do it. Now we can celebrate this. Yeah.
1K.
Everybody fucking ring the fanfare. Ring the fucking horns. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
I
That
still can't sign up for the YouTube partnership. That I can't do that because I don't have watch time.
Oh, yeah, you have watch time and then you have viewers. I think the viewer count is something like 4,000 subscribers, something like that.
Yeah. I need to
But
do a
but
lot more.
yeah,
I need to do a lot more streams to get that view watch hour cranking.
I'll also say thank you to I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly for subscribing on my side as well. I just noticed that. I appreciate that for because here's how I'm going to bring it all in. Okay, so
Let's go.
when I go sorry.
I said let's go. Let's see
Let's
how.
go. So here's how it all comes together. So when I listen to an album, before I can really sign off on it, I want to know who the musicians are. I'm not looking for like the like ideally to know that socially, politically I align better with the musicians than not. But if I know you as the musician Cecily, and I know a lot of what your goals are, then I can say I believe in you and I believe in what you're doing. I like that. And so when I like ostensibly this is an interview. This is me as a musician's critic or a critic interviewing a musician about an album, right? Like that's what we're here for. But I'm more interested in hearing about you and your perspective on your album, how that ties in with you as the greater whole. And yeah, I'm super excited to see like 1,000 followers. That's like 1,000 people thought you were pretty cool, and I
Well,
think that number's only going to go up.
only like 500 of those are because they thought my music was cool. But yeah.
I know you're selling yourself a little bit short to
Okay.
humble yourself.
Next step is 1,000 followers on Twitter. I want to get to that. But if though I guess Twitter is like fucked now, it's gonna probably close up like next week.
I hope so.
You hope so? Yeah. I
Oh,
love.
I made this joke. It's off topic from the album, but I'm hoping that Elon Musk bought Twitter to burn it to the ground because that's what humanity needs.
Twitter burns to the ground. Immediately, the world becomes a utopia.
Indeed,
We
that
stop.
was the one thing that prevented the proletariat from rising up to conquer the bourgeoisie was Twitter, and I think now we're seeing that, and it's
You need
I can only
revolution.
dream.
Says, as an artist, it's hard to have motivation, but I have personal reasons for making my own art because I have no other way to express ideas I have. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good reason to express ideas.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and that's why I kind of almost presented myself as a musician's critic because I understand the artistic process very well. I write. I've been writing every day for like 4+ years now. I make a
Hmm.
whole bunch of weird art. I do a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like I say it almost like I'm possessed. I can't not do this. I can't not make art. I can't not do now podcasting. It's something that is a conflict inside of me that draws me to improve myself to the point where then I can go work 40 hours a week at a job that I probably will hate. So that way the rest of my week I can put more of myself into my projects, so that way it's like, okay, the bar is so much higher because I have so much less time. Let's get it done, let's do it. And I think that with that conflict that I'll succeed. Just like I see for you, Cecily, that you have that you have that in the back of your head of like, yeah, I could easily coast along for another year or two and kind of maybe can get into an apartment. But if I work
Hmm.
harder and if I say to myself, how am I going to sacrifice to get into an apartment where the benefit of having an apartment, a 1 bedroom apartment, is that now you suddenly have a studio space.
Yeah, oh my god, I want that so bad. Because right now I can't even stream unless I'm alone in the house like today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can't even record vocals without bothering my family, which I don't really care about bothering my family. They can fucking suffer. Like it's just that they're always being loud. Like they're talking, they're watching TV, and it picks up on my mic, and it fucking sucks. Um, so I just want to fucking live like in a quiet place where I get to be as loud as I want.
While respecting quiet hours is the very important thing because, like for me, I live in an apartment. Quiet hour is 10 p.m. It is 8:51 p.m. So I have 1 hour and 9 minutes left, and I
Oh.
say that because what they mean by that is like no parties, right? No loud music,
Mm-hmm.
no dishwashers and vacuuming and being like super obnoxious. I talk loud, so I don't
Yeah.
want to be anywhere near that. And I've never had a complaint. I've never had anyone knock on my door or leave a note saying like you're too loud, because you get one of those, that's fine. Like you just kind of work with it.
I
If it
actually
happens
thought
too many times, you're evicted.
I actually thought it would be off for you like very soon. So I didn't realize we had an hour left.
Yeah, yeah. Cecily, this is me being moderating myself. I moderate to make sure that I'm in good standing, and part of it was this. You started a lot earlier today for me, and I appreciate that. That probably meant you woke up early, um,
Oh
so I
yeah,
appreciate that you gave us more time to talk, and
yeah.
I
Cause,
respect that.
cause I like this is like gonna be like, I don't know if people notice, but this is gonna be the last episode we record in a while, for a while at least. So I
Yeah,
wanted to get a long episode out because also knew that we were gonna go on tangents like this one. Uh, Also, I have like a long day ahead of me, so the earlier I start, the better. I need a lot of time.
Yeah, it'll be the way I kind of phrase it is that through the end of the year, I'm going to be focusing a lot on doing the job stuff. For those that are subscribed or subscribing, considering that I'll do as much as I can to publish stuff daily. Because I like doing that. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as live podcasts, it's going to have to be the weekends after I start working, because then it's like, well, what do I take a day off to go chat with some friends? Unfortunately, no, I can't do that.
I
But
yeah.
I have my because I'm working through an agency, they told me that I have some floating holidays I can burn. So I might try to like figure out a good day to do that. So there that might be just rest day, but it might also be like rest and then do a podcast or something. So as long as I work hard over the next few months, I'll be fine. And I'm looking forward to it because
Yeah.
then it could be like, hey, instead of, well, yeah, if we were to do the same slot, that would probably be really tricky for me on Fridays.
Mhm.
I'd wake up and be like, ooh, I only got a few hours of sleep.
Nah, yeah. I think I should go get a drink.
Yeah, if you want to take a quick break there.
Let's do that.
You back? We're back. Welcome back, everyone. How was
Hi,
your break?
hi everyone. I'm back. Okay. My break. I went to the bathroom and I got another fucking coffee. My instant coffee. That's cold. My coffee can it's canned coffee. With I don't know if you guys have that in Korea and over there. We have a lot of them in Korea. I these are like fucking water for me.
I don't know offhand too well. Do you have an example you can show?
Oh yeah. Wait, you can just look up canned coffee.
Oh, canned coffee. Let's go take a look then.
It's like these ones. They sell them at convenience stores over here.
I mean, I have a UCC coffee, not sponsored. That it was one of the first ones that shows up on my side when I search for canned coffee. So
uh, I've been I have to preserve my fucking voice. Oh my god. I have to record vocals later.
that's something that I feel like I want to share some behind the scenes about, like doing podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't realize how much it wrecks your vocals.
Yeah. It breaks your voice.
And then I do something as well on my side where on days where I don't broadcast and I upload a video, I talk the whole time. So sometimes I'll talk for 1 hour, no breaks. Um, and that's really changed my vocal style. There's some days where my vocal cords feel like they're kind of burning a bit, and it just like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can only imagine that is about a tenth of, say, for example, with you singing on June. I think the reason why I like that song so much is because of that the vocal performance that you gave at the end of that song is just so emotional that you must have ripped your vocals cords to shreds over that.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about it. I think I couldn't. My voice was sore for like at least 24 hours.
But I will say congratulations on that. I think that you did a phenomenal job. That song,
Mm-hmm.
it really hits on a fundamental aspect of having a relationship, where you want to have a relationship that's like perfect and everything goes right. But then what happens when that goes wrong? And you shared that. You were vulnerable with yourself in such a way where it you nailed it. You nailed it in such a way where it's just like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
reading the
that
lyrics again to this song. It still makes me tear up because like it just makes me think about that time. For me at least. But this is probably a song that's to at least a few people. You know, it's like that situation where you become friends with someone and you really like them. You talk to each other every fucking day. But you also make each other like you enable each other to be a worse version of yourselves. You know, like
mm,
you become more manic, you become more angry, you make each other upset a lot more than you do with any other friend. You always argue or about like, and you always have emotional breakdowns. You always have to talk about the discuss the current state of your relationship. It's not a healthy um stable relationship if that keeps happening. um and but you stay with them because the time you spend with them, it's so deeply like fulfilling for you. Like you haven't ever met someone else like this in your life, and you feel like if you let them go, you're never gonna find someone like this again. You never will. This is a one of a kind of person. And to an extent, you are right. Every person is unique, and every relationship is unique, and you will never find someone like that again. You won't, because they are their own person. But you will find someone else who will make you feel just as fulfilled as them. So you can't be afraid of letting them go. If you see all the flags, if you realize that this relationship, no matter how fulfilling, no matter how emotionally important and like uh important and severe it is for the both of you, if you realize that it's just making the both of you worse people, you have to let them go. You have to make
mhm.
that decision. And I didn't make that decision. This is a song about how I couldn't, and I suffered the consequences. They did it. They blocked me. They broke me off, and it was an ugly breakup. Again, this person that I'm talking about in this song is not the main. It's not that girl I was in love with. That other girl that I'm talking about in every other song. This was a different person that was a mutual friend of ours, that I'm kind of taking a detour in the song to discuss this relationship because it's kind of relevant to the themes of the whole album and my relationship with the other girl, which is that I should have broken it up. I shouldn't have pursued it, but I kept doing it because I thought there would never be another person like this, and I made the same mistake twice. And this is an album ultimately about how I made these mistakes, and now I've learned from them. And I'm gonna try not to do that anymore.
I think that's actually a really good gift that you've given to all of us. There's a lot of that sort of push and pull with relationships of, you get you get you get into a relationship with someone, whether it's romantic or even just purely intellectual, where you like a lot of the discourse, but then you find yourself fighting in a way where it's just so radically unhealthy for you. But you still keep with it because of one or two aspects that you really enjoy, and you think, "Oh yeah, I'm happy with this." But then, for me, I would say mostly it was with work, where I'd be in jobs where I was radically unhappy, and it was after leaving those jobs, I would find myself much more happy. So it's tricky to find a good job, because it's like then you find yourself with the kind of, you have to accept a lot of crap, and I don't think that's the same. It's not a great example for relationships with people compared to work relationships, but it's still something that when you touch on this album, it really gives us, the listener, that keen insight to say, I now have the courage to say, I can relate to this. I'm in a toxic relationship, and if this is how difficult it can be to break up, well, maybe that's for the best for me. So let me just listen to this song, and then let me go ahead and act on what I need to do to better myself. And yeah, you're helping. This is something that I would say, like, this isn't just music that's made for the sake of pop appeal, where you're making vapid lyrics about nothing. You're talking about very humane topics that I think are really positive, and yeah, that's why I like the album so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I try to these things happen to me in my life, and I felt like I needed to part into art because I couldn't get over it. Most of this album is an album about how I couldn't get over any of this. Um, I kept thinking about them. And I was like, I need to make an album to move on from this fucking period in my life. I need to do this. It was a personally important project for me, and perhaps like um it was existentially important to my life that I finished this album, so that I would not have to fucking deal with this anymore. Is that a there's a Russian person in the chat, I think. Hello. Oh.
Yeah, hey, we don't speak Russian, so we don't know if those Cyrillic letters are Russian, if they're Ukrainian, or any language like
Oh yeah,
that.
it's
But
a
hey,
Cyrillic, so
welcome in.
it can be any it can be any of them. I forgot about that.
It's tricky to remember how the Cyrillic language or the Cyrillic letters can apply to so many different languages.
Is hello in Russian privet? Privet, like
Privyet,
yeah, privet. Hello. You are from the
Deedset.
you are did said from Radio Music, the one of the reviewers. Yeah. Hello.
Hey, yeah, you gave the album a 4 out of 5,
They were the
or four.
first. I believe they were the first reviewer of this album, and they brought in all the Russian ratings. Let's go.
Hell yeah, yeah. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, Deetset, about how Cecily was feeling really great to see
The
a
Russian
whole
attention.
influx. Yeah. So how did you find Cecily? How did you find, and were you responsible for this massive influx of new Russian friends?
Yeah, now we're interviewing Ditsa. We are looking into their minds. I'm so
I,
invested.
no pressure, no pressure. Because this is a really interesting thing, because I, Zombiepaper, am like a critic and reviewer of music, and that's how we became friends. And so, yeah, just like finding out like that it was just an album you were listening to a lot, and
Oh,
Sump sent that along.
your other Russian friend sent a recommendation. Wow, very cool. I think I know that person.
We were making a little bit of a joke, not joke, earlier about how Cecily should make a Russian song to kind of thank
Yeah,
the new Russian audience.
nice. We were talking about Kino and Victor Choi, and how I should make a cover of one of his songs. I do like he's one. Kino is one of the only Russian bands. Not Russian again. It was a Soviet band. One of the only Soviet bands I actually know about because the guy was Korean. Um. Oh yeah, I've heard that you shared it on the Discord server. That's cool. Oh my god. I mean, there's a lot of ratings from the Russian folks who are more negative than I would like, but that's still cool. I just like I think it's great.
I mean, negative reviews are still reviews.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we talked about this before is that if the review refutes the central argument, or in other words, if the reviewer understands the album, understands what is being said on the album, and can say, well, okay, so I understand this as a romance album where a relationship between a fan and a musician turned out poorly, and I feel that that wasn't conveyed well, then that would be refuting the central argument of the album.
All right,
You would understand it.
I would understand. Like I would respect the review like that instead of like you should sing better. It's like you think I'm not trying? I mean, I think like this is just how I sound. This is how I sing, and like yeah, I could like spend $100 every month to take vocal training. I can't though. You think I have that money? I mean, if I actually do get that, if I ever can spend just $100 every month, I think I would get that. Like if I had the option, I would. Is what I'm saying. Um, but this is just how I sing, and I mean, I think I sound cool.
Well, I'll say this as well, that I listen to a lot of extreme music. I listen to atmospheric black metal, death metal, noise music. And so a lot of that is intelligible music, intelligible lyrics. And you really have to sit down to like read along with the lyrics to understand a Mon Mars album. Like how Johann Heg sings. You have to listen with you have to read along with the lyrics to understand what the hell he's saying. Just the fact of the matter. I think by comparison, Cecily is a lot easier to understand, but you
Yeah,
all, it's
I'm
like,
just singing like in slightly out of key. I mean, not even that out of key because I put
yeah,
pitch correction in my vocals, so it's like uh, it's just like to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think a lot of it is racism. I think a lot of it's because I
mm-hmm.
have this Asian accent. People hear it and go, "Oh, someone's singing lyrics in English that aren't perfectly American. What the fuck?" It's like I think a lot of that is like that because I mean I mean no one has gone mask off and told me that they don't like my accent, but I get that vibe from a few people. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I, I've told you this before offline that I think that it is a lot of racism of you have a let me see how I can phrase it. So you have an idiosyncratic vocal style that is that's not it's not because of like the Korean accent. It just you have a particular way of singing that is unique.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the criticism that I find a lot of people saying that are basically ad hominem near racist attacks are like, yeah, your singing sounds really weird, and it's like
Uh-huh.
weird in what way? A saying idiosyncratic is like compared to the norm, the vocal styling is a little different. Isn't is more nuanced. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying like, hey, I'm hearing the lyrics and I'm hearing how you're singing it, and it sounds a little bit like your own style, right? Like that is fine. But
Mm-hmm.
to say that it sounds weird, it implies a bad nature to it. I'm just like, well, weird how so? What do you mean?
It's
Do you
like
mean weird because? Oh, go for it.
the reason I think is it has to be kind of racist too, or it has to do with a little bit of in like kind not even, like they weren't thinking about it consciously. Just we are a little racist. So I think all of us little. When I hear people with a really thick accent and you can't kind of can't understand which words they're saying. I always have that knee-jerk reaction of what the fuck are they saying? I mean, I have that too. Um,
Well, I think that's where it's important to say that anti-racism would kick in to say like, here is my knee-jerk reaction. That is not good.
mm-hmm.
And the more you train that, the more you practice it. So with our friend here, whose name I can't read in Cyrillic, I appreciated that that the name that our friend said, "Hey, I'm Dietzi Set from RYM." Like,
Yeah.
thank you for helping me understand your name a little bit more because I can't read your name. And the racism would be like, oh, I can't read your name, and it's because you're dumb. Like the,
Yeah.
it's actually I'm dumb for not being able to read Cyrillic.
True. Yeah. And they also
Like
wanna rewrite the review. Oh, that would be so nice. Thank you.
I really appreciate that because like yeah, we said this a little bit earlier, but Cecily was feeling a little bummed out by not seeing a lot more success, but then with your album review and then with more people taking a look, that really lifted up Cecily's spirits, which I mean, we're friends. I'm happy when Cecily is
Yeah.
happy.
I have to imagine at least like 10 or 15 ratings came from the Russian users. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
What I was gonna say is that the reason I think it's kind of racism is because there are tons of albums out there who get super popular and acclaimed, who has a guy singing in it that is like that it's like totally a shit singer. Like the number one example I can think of is like Brave Little Abacus, which is like an emo band, and people have compared me to their music. Oh, it's for the sole reason that my vocals are not good like his is. But like Brave Little Abacus is like hugely acclaimed and everyone loves that. And if you listen to that music, he's like his voice is really bad. It's like, but like in the like the opposite way of me because it's like really high pitched and whiny. Um,
Yeah.
and then
I'm
there's also like tons of other artists where they're like singing really off key, and like people with those, with those artists, people say like, oh, it's so emotional, it's so raw, it's so authentic and genuine. And when I sing, it's like, why are you singing like that? Why is the singing so bad? It's like, okay, like, and I'm specifically talking about like how people give my album a low review, but give those other albums with also equally bad singing high ratings. Like I'm talking about that. I'm going like, okay, what's so different here? Okay, and then I can only think of one aspect here that's really obvious. I'm not gonna say it out loud.
well, I think we've been talking about
Yeah.
that, and it's something to be clear. Part of it is if you've never really talked to anyone who doesn't sound exactly like you, there is that barrier. Whereas for me, I've grown up all my life with friends who speak English as a second language. I don't know if ESL is still a good term. That's what we used in 20 plus years ago.
Me.
So um, I'm used to having not being able to communicate perfectly with people just because I'm kind of dumb too.
We are both dumb.
So like I'll ask people to repeat things that we both only speak English, and I'll be like, can you repeat that? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't quite get that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, yeah, comparing my music to Bomb the Music Industry, Weezer, Shinse Kamata-chan. Those are literally my favorite bands of our time, by the way. You guys are very smart.
See, that's refuting the central argument. That's understanding where your music sits versus like I was listening to a Dimmu Borgir album recently, where the new album for the year, where it was like three people were like, "Wow, this sounds really shitty." It's like you realize that black metal sounding shitty is kind of like the default. Like, what are you three reviewers on about? Like, do you just lack the understanding of black metal as a genre of music? Is this what you're saying? Like, are you admitting this publicly? Like, like you say, like mask off, like mask off. Do you know nothing about this genre?
True though. uh,
So yeah, that's where like I'm really happy that yeah, like your success isn't like overnight. You're getting like millions of views, millions of followers, millions of everything, but instead it's like you have people that get it and are sharing it because they know like, hey, you have something really cool here, and this is your debut album, especially after you transitioned or after the, I guess the better phrasing for us trans people is um, publicly admitting that we're trans compared to before, where we felt the need to kind of be more
uh-huh.
enclosed. That might be a better way to phrase it. I
Yeah.
don't know about you. Um,
I usually say like came out, I guess.
mm-hmm.
But it's not exactly like coming out because people knew that I was trans before. I just went from non-binary to girl.
You went from a all gender expression simultaneously because we had a conversation about this, Cecily. We had a I was like, how can I best respect you as a music reviewer? How can I best write in how I convey communicating with you or about with your music? And so pre Cecily, you said just mix up all the pronouns, use all of them.
I still like that. I think I like that. It was fun.
Well, because in part it was like because this is the benefit of having a friend like review your music. I can be like,
Mm.
hey, how would you like me to write your music the best or write this review the best to be respectful toward you as I'm reviewing your music? And I had a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
And now what I do is I alternate between she, her, and it's as we've talked about, because those are your two
Yeah.
main gender
I
perspectives,
do
and
love them, yeah.
it's something that I'll mix it up a little bit, but
Yeah. Thank you.
it's something that we talked about this before as well. That in Russian, the only real perspective I have on the Russian language is a friend of mine who said that the Russian language is somewhat dense to get into and somewhat terse at times. So the how it translates out machine wise can be very tricky to read in English. So that might be the thing too, where especially as Cecily's gained more reviews, and some of them might be more critical. Just knowing what that is in English in a language that Cecily can read is very helpful, even if the reviewer can't write English too well. So that way we kind of know the intention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's not a luxury that I give when uh, I don't write a lot of negative reviews anymore. I don't write a lot of hit pieces anymore. I was burned a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had someone I used to like say like anyone send me a review for anything. And so this one person sent me a review or sent me an album, said, go review this. And I was like, wow, this is kind of bad. But I figured out what it was and I wrote it. I wrote my review, and then the person was like, haha, I figured you'd say that because this and that. And it's like, that, that was just kind of mean. Like,
Yeah.
why did I have to do that?
Oh, this set has to go. Goodbye. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. I really
thanks for
do.
stopping
I
by.
really do appreciate the sharing it in your Discord. That was so nice. That's the only. Like, if everyone did that, like that would just be amazing. You know, that's the only way I can release uh kind of get shared is through word of mouth. I can't rely on
Mm-hmm.
algorithms and shit. I mean I've tried to but the only thing I can really rely on is people to just share it with their friends. Thank you so much.
Yeah, like this is what I'd say about because like we talked about a little bit before, I don't have much disposable income to buy the album, but what I can do is I can encourage my friends to go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends did. Scalope, Sleep Candy, and Three Up Moon were all three of my friends that checked out your music and thought, I like this music enough to go
There's
hang out.
also Josh Corey. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Curry. So all three of those folks, a few of my other friends signed up, hung out in your Discord, and they'll pop in from time to time. And it's like, yeah, that's if you can't afford money, one way is like supporting musicians you like by like talking about them and saying like the song that you collaborated with Biddy on. I forget the name
Can't
of it.
stop
Uh,
loving you.
Can't Stop Loving You is one of my favorite songs this year.
It's such a good song. Oh my
It's
god.
so good. And it's like just the perfect pop song. Like you two nailed it. You two nailed it for the complete context of me as a music enjoyer. I only really got into pop music like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to say like this is what I like out of pop music, it, you deserve all the success that you can achieve, and I know that you can. And it just is, it might take you another 5 years of just keeping on doing the same reliable work that you're doing now, and when you get there it'll be just like it'll be so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch, you'll be signed to like a major record label, and
Oh my
they'll
god.
give you
I don't even want major accolade. I want like a relatively notable indie label. You know, I would start with them. Just like Needle Juice. I love them. Imagine Needle Juice signing me. Oh my god.
or Epicap records with the Melvins, collaborate
Ooh,
with the Melvins. That'd be
nice.
cool. They would understand your music.
Really.
Buzz Osborne would hear your music and understand where you're coming from, and see your hard work ethic and be like, yeah, let's go
Ye-
on tour.
Yeah. uh,
See, these are the kinds of things that I think that you have the potential for, and that's why, in part, like I like hanging out with you and I like helping you with stuff because I know that you will succeed. It just is a matter of you gotta just work for another 5, maybe 10 years, and then you'll get there, and you'll just be like,
yeah.
yeah, you made it.
I'm so impatient, but I'm gonna try. I can't give up. That's what I realized. Like I got really bummed out that I didn't my fucking the YouTube upload didn't get like 1,000 views or something. But like I can't give up. That's the thing. I just have to keep trying. I have to keep
Hmm.
trying and not die. I can't. Don't die. That's the only rule in life I try to keep. Like, don't. First up, don't die. That means don't give up and keep doing it. Even if it's shit is too hard. Even if it is not working out. I've been doing this for like what I was thinking is like I've been doing this for 6 years, and like so I thought like finally I should get like a fucking lucky break. But like that's not how life works. Like just because you've been doing it for 6 years doesn't mean that you inherently gonna get what you want. Some people have been doing it for 10, 15 years and haven't gotten even not as much success I've gotten. Like some people will make music for 10 years and they're practically a nobody. Like no, like zero people listen to their music. Like the fact that I have like 70 people on radio music who has listened to an album, that's a lot of people. That's technically a
Mm-hmm.
lot of fucking people. You must have 70 people showing up to your house and telling you that they liked your album. You know, that's crazy. Um, I've been trying to be more positive, just trying to get fucking motivate myself, not be so fucking depressive. I've been taking my meds. I think they're
Hey,
helping. Yeah.
fuck yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That will be really helpful. I think too the like I've talked about this, and maybe you kind of feel somewhat against the idea, but I feel that it's not good to land success on your first go. If this because this is your debut album as Cecily, if
Mm-hmm.
you end up just knocking it out of the park, well then you could get into the one hit wonder status. You could
Yeah.
falter. Whereas now, like you're hungry and you want to do better for the next
Yeah, I'm
album.
hungry as fuck. Like literally, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in hours. But yeah, I'm also hungry in that I wanna get it again. I wanna make a even better album.
I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to hear the the covers album.
Covers
I
album,
can't wait.
covers album is gonna be great. I have some really good ones in the works. The next album that I think is gonna come out in January. I'm guessing. I'm gonna spend December making it. The next album will sound completely different. I want to make something like the opposite of whatever
Oh,
I
nice.
did on Dysfunctional Bunny Girl. It's gonna be like synthy, and it's gonna have like MIDI instruments. You know, it's gonna have like drum machines. Gonna have like fucking it's gonna be like fucking prog pop, and like it's gonna be like the Beach Boys, but instead of like an orchestra, it's like MIDI strings. It's gonna be great, I think.
I like that idea a lot of playing against type.
Yeah.
I think that is a radically important thing that prevents you from being shoehorned into, oh, you're just like Weezer.
It's just like Weezer. I mean, I would like to make Weezer all the time forever. If someone told me you're gonna be famous, but you're only allowed to make Weezer copy albums, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I like Weezer. I like making Weezer sounding songs. But I'm mostly doing it because it's like the next album is not gonna be like a full album. It's gonna be like probably sort like 20-30 minute album. It's like a transitionary album. Um, for my next big project. I don't know what my next big project is gonna be. Actually, I know what my next big project is gonna be. Uh, it's gonna be fucking probably gonna be our band. Me and Bridget is gonna make a band. It's gonna be called MIDI Bunny. Um, I don't. Does your audio sound choppy? I don't know. I'm not hearing that.
When did it start? Was it just recently or was it all throughout? Because um,
It might be on my
I can,
end.
yeah, I don't know. My computer's really old, so it could. I mean, I have a few tabs that are open that I'm checking and closing out. Like I had like the June song tab open. Uh, oh, it just happens randomly.
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
I just heard that. I think it's just Discord. Yeah, I think it might be the Discord connection. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, we'll blame it on my old computer. We'll blame it. Well, in part, I was also playing your stream in um, three what is it 360p, so
Nice.
kind of my fault.
That's exactly the resolution you have.
Yeah, so we'll say that it's my mistake there.
What's I saying? Oh yeah, so the next album, that's the one that's coming out in January. It's gonna be more about like a break app. It's like a transitionally interlude album. It's gonna be a short little pop album. Um and the next big album we're gonna make in 2023, it's gonna be Meaty Bunny. Meaty Bunny is gonna be the next big thing. It's gonna be me and Bridget's band, me and BD Fox. I'm gonna write the songs. She will produce them because she's great at producing, and I don't like doing that. Uh, and we're gonna split up the vocals. You know, she'll sing the hooks because she has a great voice, and I'll do like the little verses and bridges. MIDI Bunny 2023. It's gonna be the next big. You're gonna be the next Black Dresses. You're gonna be the
Hell yeah.
next big queer rock band. Wait for it.
I am really looking forward to that. That's why, like I say, a lot of it is as long as you keep on trying, and when you fail or when you feel like you publish something and it doesn't go to the stars or whatever, it's like it's okay to feel that emotionally and like a little let down by that, but then you say like, okay, here's some raw emotion that I can put into another song, and you can say, yeah, I feel that way, and I feel like I want to do better next time, or I want to like really want to prove them that this is really cool. Like definitely, it's almost like you take that negative emotion, you put it into a song that people resonate with.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a new person in the chat. Hello.
Yeah, hey, I know who this is. I don't know if they want to say who they are, but I know who they are. Hello and welcome.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see if they wanna reveal themselves, they will. Otherwise, they won't.
They said they're the president of music.
Yeah,
Hello.
they're the president of music.
Hello, president of music. I'm honored.
I,
I'm honored to be in your presence.
we were bestowed a hello.
Yeah. Such honor and glory.
Yeah, it's something that I just want to go back to the album here once more and
Yeah,
just
let's
say
talk about
that
Dysfunctional Bodyguard, the new album by Cecily Renns. Have you guys heard it yet? Have you guys?
because it's a fantastic album. I think you should be proud of yourself for it.
No.
And although it's not the top album on Rate Your Music, whatever the fuck that album is, I don't care. I don't know. It's not probably a good album. Because
The
this is a good album.
the
It's not
top
that top
album? I
slot.
think it might be Black Midi.
It could be. It could be that one, or it's the one with the airplane on it. It could be
Oh,
that one
Black
too.
Country New Road.
Could be that one.
I like
I'm
that
look.
album. I like Black Country New Road. I'm a fan.
Cecily, you're supposed to be playing the bit
I mean,
that it's
I
not your album. Come on now.
yeah, if this fucks is about goes to be number one. Okay, there's Black Country New Road, Black Midi, Danger Mouse, Big Thief, Billy Oates. Uh, wow. Okay, I don't actually know a lot of these artists. The Beach House at number 10, Backwalls at 11. Denzel Curry is 12. That's pretty good. Denzel Curry, yeah. I like Denzel Curry. Denzel Curry is great.
I like Natalia Foucault along with GID.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we were talking about Denzel Curry. That was I liked Denzel Curry's more of his like his concerts more than this album itself.
Or
Hot take, I know.
you went to see his concert?
I did not. I watched them online, but
Yeah.
like the
Oh yeah, he seems great. I love him.
yeah. So that's where I'd say like for it, your album is not is 1,711 so far.
Yeah.
It's not the top album of this year, so that you can really see how Rate Your Music fans are missing the mark.
Yeah. I have to get into the 1,500 to even get in the charts.
But I mean, you're already in the charts well enough.
Yeah. I mean, we if let's go. If maybe we can get to 100 ratings, and we maintain this score. Maybe we can get into 1,500. Come on. I mean,
Maybe.
the previous rank was 1,900.
Oh,
We
nice.
came up 200. So let's go. I think we can do it. I think we can do it.
This is what I'll say as we begin to wind down for this podcast. That I really enjoy the album, so I do what I can to promote it. I do what I can to support it, and I make sure that it's like people know about it. I'm even linking it on your chat right now.
The
Because
rank is on Radio Music.
yeah, so it's just something that I feel strongly about with the music I like. I want to share it with people, and I want people to know that it's really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's something like I was doing some volunteer stuff recently, and I said, if you feel like it, if you don't mind putting like a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile, that could be really helpful. Because we were talking about before how I got my job through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And the response was from the volunteer coordinator was, "Wow, I've never met anyone who got a job through LinkedIn before."
Really? Isn't that the whole point is to get jobs?
It is, but pre-COVID, I'd find jobs through like the paper kind of stuff like that, like online job boards like Craigslist. I don't know if they have an equivalent in Korea to that. They have Kijiji in Canada of like a wanted ads website where you can post like I want to sell an appliance. I want to sell like I have a bunch of dirt, free dirt kind of stuff like that. And they have
Mm.
like a jobs section. So that's how I found my jobs before. So yeah, that's what I'd say is that if you like the album, if you listen to it and you like it, promote it as you can. If you listen to it and you didn't like it, think about why you didn't like it, and if there's anything useful, Cecily might want to know about it, so that way she can work on it for its next album, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Did you have like stuff you wanted to talk about the album? Say about the album? Like there's a lot of songs here.
Well, I already covered a lot
You did do
of
you
like
is does anyone in the chat have like questions about the album? I can answer them.
yeah, like did I have no further questions for myself, I should say. And while we wait for any questions, I'll do is I'll say thank you for making the album.
Oh, thank you. I needed to make it. It was not a matter of whether I can. It was a matter of fucking when. And I spent so much time on it. Oh my god.
I think that shows in a really good album that it's very surprising to me that I mean I'm 36. I come from a time where if this was the 1990s, you would have had to have had a whole record label amount of support to support
Mm.
you. You would have had to have a record engineer. You would have had to have all this and that, and it would have been just wild to imagine in the 90s that now you essentially made this whole album with the help of a few friends, which, by the way, I think having Jeff how do you pronounce his last is Jeff's last name?
Jeff
Burgess?
Jeff Burgess.
Burgess. I'm really bad with pronouncing names, but that you have Jeff on here is fantastic. I really enjoy DMT from the Just Fern
Hell
album. So
yeah. Just for a
that's
new album, Space 2 out now, by the way. Great album.
yeah. I haven't heard that one yet, but I'm super excited. I also forget if Jeff what Jeff's pronouns are, so I apologize if they aren't he him on that. I thought
He
I thought
him
that's
yeah,
what they were.
him is fine. They I'm pretty sure they don't mind any pronouns.
Okay, cool. I just like immediately fuck up as soon as I say like I'm really excited, and it's just like
It's, yeah, they are no longer the type of person who really cares about that. They used to go by she her, but now they don't.
let me just double check here. I like that your Discord. Let me promo your Discord. By the way,
Cecily
your
Renns
Discord.
Discord server is it for those in my stream. The link is in the description. You can come join the server. I mean, if you want.
Let me throw it in the chat there too, because if you want to join my Discord, do you mind if I throw that out as well?
Oops, I think you guys just heard that, right?
What?
I played a song on Discord. I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
That was the voice of Billy Fox. I'm sorry, you guys. That might be an upcoming song. I don't know. It was just a demo she showed me. That she sent me, and I played it. I should not have played that. Oh no.
Oh, I didn't hear it all. But Red Rack says, "Oh, that's what the and was."
Yeah, that's the
I didn't hear it.
first note of that. First note of that song. Well, I
Yeah,
don't.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, cause it caught on the stream. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't get it at all there, but yeah, I checked. So Jeff uses he him pronouns right now. The great thing about your Discord is that you can pick your pronouns and pick them whenever, which I think is fantastic and inclusive. I have to do it manually on my side because
Mm-hmm.
I haven't set up the bot to do that very well yet. Sorry.
The sneak this. Uh, actually, I just told Biddy and she said it's a sneak preview. So consider it a sneak preview for for a MIDI for the upcoming MIDI Bunny album.
But I didn't hear it.
Oh, I can actually show you like if you want, I can show you like the whole song later.
Oh, you know my policy about
Oh, okay.
music. So for those that don't know, my official policy is I don't listen to any leaked music. I don't listen to any illegal downloads. I don't care if you do, but just for me, I don't because there's so much legal music out there. There's so much released music that listening to something new, unless you're asking, hey, can you check this out for the sake of providing feedback, then I'm open to that. But sneak previews,
Yeah.
uh, I honestly I don't want to engage with that too much. Like if it happens, it happens. But I'm not gonna like. I like the whole experience. I like sitting down with the whole album and listening to it more than like a little preview or a song. And that's just my opinion on
Yeah,
that.
that's very fair.
So yeah, that if you heard it and you liked it, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where your future takes you because I think that you have a lot of potential. Especially you have a good head on your shoulders, Cecily. We talked a little bit before about the finance stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you know that you're not screwing around. Like even just buying a skirt is not a bad thing. It's not like a morally a terrible thing. You should be
Yeah,
good with that.
I bought some cute clothes. I regret it now because I feel like I should have saved up some of the money.
If you enjoy it though, if you
Yeah,
wore it around enough to get some value out of it, then
yeah,
I don't judge you. And I'm a critic,
yeah. So
so
the
I don't know. I know what some of these people are on about that are not critics that don't understand the central argument and yet still find something to critique you about.
Mhm.
What are they on about?
Sure, some questions. Does the album mention how to run from the police if they're at my house? Run out the window. What is your favorite song on the album?
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so it's either the worst or you still believe in me because it's a ska song. I finally got to make a ska song and put it on the album. It has real saxophones and it's so good. It's probably you still believe in me. Yeah, I love that song.
I was listening to the album today and I found I liked "Death of Me" was a pretty good bop, I would say.
You
It
said
definitely
it's
had
the a radio single. That's so funny. It's so funny because the Death of Me was what I consider to be the weakest song on the album when I had every song written. I was almost close to cutting it from the album because I thought it wasn't good enough. Um
"The Death of Me."
yeah, I thought it was like it didn't have like that pop hook to it. It's more like a kind of it's almost like a post punk song. And so I was like, I don't know. I was not sure about it, but like once I got like the guitars recorded by Biddy, that's when I was decided. Okay, I leave it in because the guitars are so fucking good. So I left it in, and I'm surprised because multiple people have told me this is their favorite song on the album. It's because I think it's because it sounds so different from the rest of it.
It's really catchy, like having the lyric or having the chorus of "The Death of Me."
Oh
The way that
yeah,
you sing it is very catchy, and that's very yeah. It was
yeah.
just like I was listening to it while we were prepping for the podcast, and I was just like,
Yeah, The
yeah,
thing.
I like this.
Thank you. There's a song by Jeff Burgess. There's a song by Jeff Burgess called "Rebuild Me." It's "Rebuild Me" by Jeff Burgess, and this song is very similar to that song. I basically copied it. Um, and the hook is a little different in that song. Uh, it's like take me apart and rebuild me. Touch you the songs. Wait, you rebuild me. Tear me apart from my core. It goes like that. I think that song is way better, but that's the song I try to copy. Uh, every song in this album has another song where I try to just copy from the other one.
I think that's more than respectable. Very similar to what says of mad respect about my stance on music, about pirating music, but with anime, hell yeah, 24/7 indefinitely.
Not I think refusing to pirate music is respectful because a lot of time music doesn't make people any money anyway. Or I mean it. I think you should probably if they're like an indie artist, you shouldn't pirate their music. You should try to buy it.
Right.
With anime, it's like it's all fucking giant fucking corporations, and none of the money goes to the animators. It's kind of fucked up. I don't think you have to feel guilty about that.
Yeah, that's my stance is that if I know that if I pay, let's say I have $50 to spend and I spend it on buying an anime box set, I know that the majority of that money is not going to go in the hands of the developer or the the animators and everyone that made it. It's going to go to like the businesses
Mm-hmm.
that oversaw the production of the box set or whatever bullshit. So yeah, that I feel that. But
Of
I
course.
also feel like this might be a good time. Well, there's never a good time to wrap up these podcasts, but I
Yeah.
need to get going here pretty soon. So
Mm-hmm. This was a great episode, I think.
they're all great.
Yeah.
All three of the ones that we've had so far have been great.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna
I
miss
enjoyed.
doing. I'm gonna miss doing these, I think.
Well, we'll be back here probably in 2 months, maybe. We'll
Yeah.
have another podcast,
Yeah.
depending on how things turn out. Because I like talking with you, Cecily, and I like hearing what you got going on.
Me too. I love talking to you.
Thank you.
It's so nice.
And thank you to the audience for having a really great conversation, bringing up really good ideas, bouncing off some really fun things. We talked a lot about the album, which
Yeah.
is very rare for a semi-interactive podcast project.
Yeah. True though. We stayed on topic for like 2/3 of it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and the 1/3 that was off topic, it was all like kind of tangentially related, like the finance stuff. I thought was like, hell yeah, this is really great.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Tangential, but it was so related. It just was a little bit outside what the normies would consider related.
It was interesting, yeah.
So yeah, I look forward to our next one as well.
Me too.
We'll make it
I
happen.
miss doing these. I miss you. But good luck to your job and everything.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I'm just going to work hard and then make it so that way I succeed. And then the plan is to get out of this expensive apartment somewhere cheaper, so that way I don't have to work so hard on doing the job stuff, so I can do more of this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if we're ready to end, then I'd like to conclude by saying you've made a fantastic album. You've made something you should be very proud of, and definitely like we're talking about, like with moral, like supporting media. That Cecily, if you were to pay, if you had $50 in your pocket and you wanted to see that go a long ways, Cecily would be a really good option. But if you don't have that money, hey, that's more than fine. Do
Yeah.
what you do.
Thank you. Um I had a lot of fun today. Now I probably keep up the stream for like maybe like a few more minutes, then I have to go work. I mean not my work. I have to go work on my music. So
Well,
thank you.
I'm gonna stop on my side.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you for making time. Let's see you
Oh
later.
yeah, of course.
Let's see you later.
Take care and bye
Mhm. I
bye.
love you. Okay, you're still on my stream. So do you want to leave?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. So take care and bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Okay. Hello, Chad. It's just us now. It's our quiet little time. How are you doing? There's still 5 people watching. How is everybody doing? Did you enjoy the podcast? I enjoyed that podcast. That was a fun podcast. Uh, by the way, did you know 1,000 subscribers? Let's go! Let's fucking go, everyone! Bye bye. Good. Have a good way. Okay. Um, it was a good podcast. I'm good. I'm glad to hear that, Rax. Okay. We can keep talking for a little while. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go and do. Actually, if you guys want, you guys can have a sneak preview of of some of the new covers. Is Zombie Paper gone? Perhaps. I think they might have stuck around. I need to go do what is it? It's an app capture. It's application capture. And it'll be VLC. And then we'll go rename this to VLC audio. Sayonara. Let's see if we can play some stuff on this. So can we play this? This is the song we made. You guys remember this song we made on stream? That was fun. We should do that again. We should make a song again on stream. GP's sticking around. So I have my covers. There's Weather Day. There's Asian Glow. There's a Bizarre Love Triangle by New Order. You guys want to hear that one? I love this one, the Bizarre Love Triangle one. This one's really fun. I'm gonna let you guys hear this one.
Every time I think of you, I feel shot right through with a burnt of blue. And it's the problem of mine, but it's a problem I find. Living a life that I can't leave behind. There's no sense in telling me the wisdom of the fur won't set you free. But that's the way that it goes, and it's what nobody knows. Every day my confusion grows. Every time I see you falling, I get down on my knees and pray. I'm waiting for that final moment. You say the words that I can't say.
Yeah, that's enough of that. You guys will get the full cover when the album comes out, because this is gonna be the last cover that comes out. This is the last song in the album. Um, it reminds me you of Quero Quero Bonito. Quero Quero Bonito. Oh, I love them. I love Quero Quero Bonito actually. I love what was their album? The album that had uh only acting in it. Or it's Time and Place. Yeah, I love Time and Place. That's one of my favorite albums ever. Um, yeah, you guys have the you guys go hear the original song "Bizarre Love Triangle" by New Order. One of the best songs, one of the best pop songs ever. I'm glad you guys like that one. That's probably that's me trying to make synth pop again, and Only Acting is one of the best songs ever. Only Acting is I want to make songs that sound like that. Um, I mean that cover was me trying to make synth pop again after not making any for so long. Time and Place is the best album. I would have to agree. I think it's their best album too. Bonito Generation is quite great. I love Bonito Generation, but yeah, I think I have to give it to Time and Place too. You guys want to hear another one? I'll let you guys hear the Weather Day cover because I think this is gonna be the first one that gets uploaded. It's gonna get uploaded probably on like Saturday, Sunday, maybe Friday. I don't know. I'm thinking Saturday. I'm gonna upload this one. This is gonna be the first cover that comes up. The Weather Day cover. No, actually, it's okay. So this is I'll give you a little taste. Okay.
Let's stay in your bed. In particular, where their past used to be, where we felt bad and made us see it. We can sit down neatly. We can stay friends if you're keen. Safe in memory. Just in case this ain't all as good How could I swallow it up? How could I ever go? My heart's scared. Just in case this ain't all as good. How could I ever go without that? You took my breath away in a way. Smarter than an okay way to go. Way to go. And I want to say thanks.
That sounds really good, right? I know it sounds fucking amazing. That's like I should have made the album sound like that. I didn't though. Um, I love that song, the Weather Day song, Mio Min Mio. That's one of my favorite songs in the album. Come in. Um, I really wanted to do it justice. I wanted to make it fucking noisy as fuck. Um, fat dub for noise music. I mean, I don't listen to harsh noise music, but I do listen to a lot of like noise pop. Does it sound like Mew Mew Mew? I'm just going. I'm just going. Ooh. I should have done mute though. Mew 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 mew. Oh shit! I'm great. You guys are gonna love these covers. I'm gonna. There's 12 of them. You do not have a cat? I do not have a cat either. I mean, I'm friends with some cats. My friends are cats. They go meow. We have a meowing channel in our Discord server. People just meow there. Oh, there's a new person in the Discord. I'm sorry. By the way, Cecily Renns passes her club. Hmm. I mean, you guys had fun. I should probably head out soon, but I'm glad that you guys like the podcast. I had a lot of fun doing the podcast. Um, Probably gonna be the last podcast we'll do with Zombiepaper for a long time. I'm so sad about that, but it means we can just do these streams instead. Um, can have some other people join from the server. Yeah, nice. I'm glad. I'm happy to know that. Yeah, probably a few months. That's okay. Um, and so there's been a lot of people watching. By the way, like the stream, and I guess subscribe too. We can go from 1,000 to 1,001. Let's go. Who wants to be number 1,001? I can't even fucking see the subscribers anymore in my front channel. I have to go to the studio to see it. Yeah, who wants to be fucking subscriber number 1,001? There's a leaked Shinsei Kamate-chan track? What the fuck? When are they making the next album? Noko, make the next album. You made a fucking song for Attack on Titan and didn't take advantage of that to release an album? Oh my god, I'm like, well, when was the last Shinsei Kamate-chan album is gonna have come out like 3 years or ago now? I love Shinsei Kamate-chan though. I have to listen to that leaked song. Whether you took my breath away in a way. That part is so catchy. Small though, there's an okay way to go. Can't yell too much because I have to save my voice for the vocal recording. Way to go! And I want to say that. Oh shit! Thanks. That's the note. I'm so bad at singing, by the way. Did you know I'm so bad at singing? Oh my god. I'm glad you guys like listening to them though. These making these covers has made me so happy and like energized recently. I'm on a fucking roller. I started making these like a week ago, and I already have 6 of them done. I have half of them done. Smash the fucking like button. I don't know. I think it helps with the algorithm or something. Share with your friends and family. Probably not the stream, but do share the album with your friends. Dysfunctional Bunny Girl. Dysfunctional Bunny Girl by Cecily Renns. The new hit emo album with the kids. The new hit album with the kids. Let's go. You know? It's a hit in the Russian Federation. Oh, it was a joke? You mean that my song sounded like Sensei Kamate-chan? I mean, Weather Day is a Sensei Kamate-chan fan, so I'm sure it's a little intentional. And I'm a big Sensei Kamate-chan fan. I love Tsumanne. I love Tanosine. Tanosine is my favorite album by Sensei Kamate-chan. Yeah, of course there is no leak song. I'm sorry. I am also crying, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll get through this these tough times. Anyway, you should make a song and post it as a leaked song. Post it as a leaked check about the song. I wonder how many people will be convinced. I need to get the Noko voice effect right though. We have very different voices. They have a much kind of girlier sounding high pitched voice. It's hard for me to do that because I have such a deep voice. Whenever I try to pitch shift my voice, it sounds weird. I think some people tell me it sounds fine, but I don't know. I think it sounds weird. I think, and I would let it just leave it as it be, and like I like that my album on Radio Music has the female vocalist tag, and my voice is anything but female, but it is. I mean, I am a woman, so it's kind of a stupid tag. It's not descriptive at all, but I like convincing people that this is a woman singing. And like eventually you'll be convinced. Let's see. Anyway. Tsugakulo from Tsumanne, yeah, that's a great song. I love how crazy that one is. We should probably end the stream soon, I think. I need to go now. So thank you for coming, everyone. I love all of you so much. I'm glad that you came here and listened to us talk, listen to me talk. Again, be hyped for the covers. They're gonna come out like every 1 or 2 days. For like the next 2 weeks. It's gonna be Cecily Renns weeks, Cecily Renns month. November is the month of Cecily Renns. My Weather Day cover is gonna get like 10,000 views. Let's go. Anyway, goodbye, everybody. I was born stupid. However, I will not die hungry. Take care of yourself. I love you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, Kaya and him and Zombiepaper and Rex. Bye bye.